EAGLES. Eagles.
On to the divisional round we go, everybody. The Philadelphia Eagles win the game today, 22-10. And we're 1-0 in the playoffs this year. Welcome in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's Dan Sileo on the screen, covering his face up with a towel. I am not sure why. We'll find out in just a second. We'll talk to John McMullen a little bit later on in the show. I said on the pregame show, everybody, a win is a win. Go and get a win. They were able to do that today, but boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Big Sills, I'm coming to you. Towel head over there, whatever you're doing. What are you putting the towel over your face for, Big Sills?
Because of that quarterback, he sucks. I mean, that was a horrible performance by him and that offense. I mean, if it wasn't for that defense, Jordan Love and the bodies that were lost by Green Bay, that was arguably the worst performance of the year. I mean, the defense was sensational. Nolan Smith, how about him, man? Playing Hassan Reddick in this ball game. Yeah. Good for him, man. 2 sacks in the ball game. Yeah. They did a really nice job. You know, I thought, like we said, too, both of us said it, Zander, that they were going to get worn out towards the end of the ball game. That's kind of what happened. And that was a defensive football game. And without a doubt, it was a defensive game. And I'll say this, too. I think A.J. Brown is real. John has been saying all week that A.J. Brown is hurt. There was very little explosion out of him. I thought that was really a factor in the football game because he was a non-factor in that football game. And you could tell when he's a non-factor, that offense they just fumble around. I mean,
even further than that, Sills, they didn't even look his way. I mean, they didn't even attempt. I said it on the halftime show. So you have a quarterback coming in, though, 3 weeks, no game, hasn't played. Talking about rust. And by the way, for everybody who says rust is not a factor, I just listened to Tom Brady, the winningest quarterback of all time, the greatest player to ever grace the NFL, tell me, oh, rust is 100% a factor for a quarterback in this situation. So missed me with that. He clearly had some rust today. I don't know, Big Sills. That was not a very promising performance from the quarterback. How do you have a guy miss 3 weeks and then come back and you have one of the best receivers in the NFL and you don't give him one chance, one slant, one throw? If he's not hurt, then I think that's a worse scenario than if he is hurt and he was used as a decoy today.
I didn't know what the offense was doing. It was, I mean, how about we do this? How in the world were the Packers in that game for 3.5 quarters? How were they in that game? That game was I agree with Tom Brady and what Tom said. I thought that game was 75-0. Then I looked up, it's only 10-0.
Yeah, right.
And Green Bay ran out of bodies, man.
Let's recap a little bit of the game here.
That's not a Super Bowl. By the way, that's not a Super Bowl team.
I 100% agree. Now, people will point to, in 2017, Sills, we had a really shoddy divisional game that year. We won 15-10, and everybody loves to use that. Oh, we did it. We weren't very good in the divisional, so maybe we can get better. Sure, maybe we can get better. But as it stands today, if you think that team that just beat the Packers is going to go to the Super Bowl and get past teams, I think even like the Bucs or the Lions, forget about it. That team has a lot of work, a lot of things to clean up, Sills, before you talk about that.
How about this, man? If you think the Green Bay Packers suck and they stink, you fucking suck too in that game. I mean, for
the Packers
for a team that had all that ability in that ball game, for them to let that and keep that team in that game, I mean, that was a pathetic performance. Now, again, this is the one thing, Zander, that we always have to roll back to. You won the ball game, you win and you advance. Let's see if you move on here. But if anybody had the notion prior to that game that Green Bay was a Super Bowl contending team, I mean, you weren't a Super Bowl contending team. The passing game is absolutely, once again, I'll say it again, it's pathetic. Stop making excuses for it. It's just not a good passing game.
No, and I'll double it up and say the passing game on the other side of the ball might have been even worse. Now, granted, he didn't have many players to throw it to out there when they were all injured, but Jordan Love did not look good today, Sills. Let's go through the tape a little bit. Started off the game, Sills. I mean, they came out firing. They came out swinging. Give them credit. They came into the game ready to go. Big hit on the opening kickoff by Oren Burks, jars the ball loose. The Eagles go right in, take a touchdown. 3 turnovers in the opening half. You had the opening kick turnover, the Darius Slay pick, by the way, unbelievable pick by him. I think he got hurt, never returned. And then the Zack Bon pick, which was just an awful play by Jordan Love. But you go into the halftime, so it was 10-3, wasn't it? Or 10-0 at halftime. I'm like, you have a 10-0 lead and you got 3 turnovers in the half? That's not a big enough lead. So I thought the Eagles left a lot to be desired, but that was it. That was the rundown. Packers missed the field goal, so it was 10-0 at halftime. Offense was awfully stagnant all the way through the game. I thought, Packers were depleted by injuries. That was a body bag game still. It was a very physical game, but I just thought the way you left so much on that field, if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, you got a lot to clean up this week. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. You're 2 of 11 on third down. The Green Bay Packers outrushed you in total yards in the ball game. Without a doubt, they had 4 turnovers. And here's another significant part. So how was Green Bay in the game? And like you said, Zander, at the opening of the game, they get that turnover in the red zone, basically. And the Eagles were able to take advantage of that. They put that bad puppy in. You take that away from the game, it's a 1-possession game. The Green Bay Packers, how are you in the ball game with 8 penalties for 85 yards and 4 turnovers? How are you in the game? And like you said, Jordan Love, not only the fact that he played poorly, there was not the only guy that showed up to play was Josh Jacobs. He was a force in that football game. That run towards the end of the game that he had to get that ball close to the end zone and then get it in the end zone. He showed up to play, man. That guy is one workhorse, man. I was exceptionally impressed with him. And I got to hand it to Halfley. His defense kept them in this thing for pretty much 3.5 quarters. Again, they're limited. Green Bay is a limited football team. And I'm going to make the point to all of you. Green Bay is the 3rd best team in the NFC North. Just put that in your hat, and you just shake that around a little bit. That's the 3rd best team in the NFC North. Minnesota and Detroit are better football teams than them, and you are not beating them looking like that. You may not even beat the Bucs if you get them at Tampa.
I don't think you're wrong at all. By the way, I want to do one thing, and then we'll continue to dive into the game. Jason 18 brings it to my attention, and I want to just remind everybody of something. No Holes Defense, congrats to Q for his first pick. So we've been waiting for the Quinyon Mitchell first pick. He gets it in the playoffs, and because of that, I will be giving away a Quinyon Mitchell stitched Kelly Green jersey tomorrow on the show. So make sure you guys tune in on the morning show. I will give that away on the morning. I feel the need to celebrate something, a big playoff win, and Quinyon Mitchell gets his first pick. So big shout out to him, and Jason 18. Thank you for the super chat. Now, so I'll say this, because many people are going to be upset with us, right? You win a playoff game, not just a regular game. You win a playoff game today, and it might not be all peaches and cream on our show today. But I'm a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I watched that game. That team is not a Super Bowl team. Certainly not a Super Bowl team the way they played today. Maybe it looked good. Maybe the defense created 4 turnovers. Maybe it did some good things in the game. If you think that team is marching through the NFC and knocking off the Bucs, let alone the Lions, let alone the Bucs, you got another thing coming. That was not championship football today. Granted, they beat a good team. I thought the Packers were a solid team. They were dropping like flies, by the way, out there. It was a total body bag game. People were dropping everywhere out there. But look, that's just how I feel. Right now, that's not a championship team, Sills. It's not.
I know it's not. And on top of that, this is not just winning a playoff game. See, what people are going to do here is they're going to go, we won the game. That's not what we're fucking after in the postseason here. You're after a Super Bowl, and people were saying they wanted to make a statement in that game. Well, you did. You made the statement right now on January 12th. You're not a Super Bowl team. Like he said, ton of shit to clean up. I mean, if it's not for Saquon Barkley and that defense, that football team is going nowhere. By the way, your wide receiver was so bored that he started reading a fucking book on the sidelines because the passing game was completely inept. In my opinion, that was a metaphor for how bad the passing game was today. It wasn't about, you even heard Brady. He didn't want to go all in on it, but he goes, I don't know if the third quarter of a playoff game is a place you want to read War and Peace. So, I mean, that's how I looked at that. He was so not engaged in that game because of the lack of a passing game. I took that as a metaphor going, I'm not needed in this ball game for us to try to win a ball game and potentially a Super Bowl. That's how I took it, okay? I've never seen somebody so not engaged and also not focused on what they were doing that he was bored in the football game. Kind of crazy of a statement, and that'll be a main storyline moving forward. Believe me, here we go again. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts' relationship will once again be front and center on Monday.
Yep, no doubt about it. I mean, look, what did you make of that? I mean, you just kind of gave it to us, but I did want to ask you about it. I mean, many people think it's funny. People are like, oh, you know, I think it's a diva move. I get it. We receivers are going to be divas.
It was a diva move. But I think, again, it was a metaphor
what do you
for how
accomplish out of that, though? If you're A.J. Brown, what are you trying to accomplish in the middle of a playoff run by pulling out a book? By the way, he knew the cameras were on him. You could tell by the way he opened the thing. He knew he was getting the headline. He knew the picture was going to be floating all over social media, which it already is. Why send that message? What do you think A.J. Brown is going
Why
for?
create that fucking drama again? Why? Seriously, I see somebody in here who said it childish. That's a childish move, man. It's a non-professional move that you're doing that on the sidelines during a pro football playoff game, that guy was so not engaged. I can't – and you know what the Eagles will do? The Eagles, they'll come up with some lame-ass excuse. And for the record, how are you – I wonder if someone will ask Nick, hey, Nick, is that part of your process where you have people reading library books on the sidelines to War and Peace while your football team was still in a game and battling? At that time, the Packers were still in the ball game, okay? It was still in the ball game there. It was a one-possession ball game. Not A.J. Brown, man. Once again, I'll say it. That guy wants to win, in my opinion, and I completely agree. A.J. Brown wants to win the ball game his way. Again, there was so much. That was such a undisciplined, sloppy ball game by the Eagles all around, except for this. I'll give you that. And by the way, Jake Elliott on the missed extra point. Let's fucking go, guy. I mean, let's go. That is not – how about this? I don't know, Zander, if they're not a championship team. That was not a championship performance.
Yeah, I agree with that. You don't know yet because, look, they could turn it around and be a better team next week. I'm not saying that, but if you're going off of today's game and all the things we talked about coming into the game today, you know, Jake Elliott was one of them. And I made a tweet out early in the game. You had 3 questions coming into the game, right? The 3 big – there's always more questions, but the 3 big questions coming into the game. Jalen Hurts is rust. What was he going to look like 3 weeks off? Jake Elliott in the field goals, what was he going to look like on special teams? And number 3 was the slow starts. Well, they checked all those boxes. Early in the game, I'm like, Jalen looks good. He's 6 of 6 with a touchdown. Jake Elliott hit a field goal early in the game. And they started off with 10 points in the first quarter. After that, it felt like they couldn't do anything, Big Sills. Offense couldn't get going. If it wasn't for that defense, I don't know if you win that game. And then the other thing I'll point out, because you got to start to analyze, is this team going to beat the better teams? Is this team going to go to the Super Bowl? How many throws did Jordan Love miss in that game? I know I'm not saying the defense didn't have a great game. The defense played great. 4 takeaways. How many throws? Jordan Love missed 3 throws to the end zone I can think of off the top of my head that would have been Packer touchdowns that he just airmailed. He airmailed 1 throw he put the interception to Zack Bon. I've never seen that.
He did miss 2 O-linemen. One was the
star left tackle. No, you're right. I'm just saying you're not going to get that every week. You're not going to get that every week.
So you lost your top 3 wide receivers. Zander, you're looking at Jordan Love's game. He lost 2 offensive linemen and his top 3 wide receivers in the ball game. I'm not sure what you were expecting him to do when you lose half your offense. He lost half of his offense.
Yeah, I get it.
And 5 players in the starting 11 were taken out of that game with injuries. So, I mean.
Yeah, but this is football. It's playoff football. If somebody went down on the Eagles, would I use that as an excuse, though? Come on, man. It's next man up.
That's a reality. He lost half of the –
I know. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Do you think the Eagles would have won a ball game if they lost 5 of the 11 guys today?
No, I don't.
With that quarterback's performance, do you think he would have connected on 5 of 11 the way he was throwing away? Hey, taking sacks again too, man. Come on, kid. I mean, I just got to tell you, man. I'm gonna reserve it, Zander, and saying that's. I'll take it back. Whether or not they're a Super Bowl team or not, that performance in the first game of the playoffs, that is not a playoff. Excuse me, that is not a Super Bowl performance for them to be able to think they are a Super Bowl contender. You would have been beat by Minnesota. You may be beat by the Bucs or the Rams if you play like that.
I agree that today's win's not going to cut it. They got to get better. Let's talk about the quarterback skills. He was 13 of 21 today, 131, 2 touchdowns. We talked a little bit about A.J. Brown, 1 catch for 10 yards to an all-pro wide receiver. I don't quite understand the strategy there on not going to A.J. Brown more. Perhaps the knee injury. Yeah, I'm going to talk to John. We'll talk to John, who will join us in a little bit from the stadium, from Lincoln Financial Field. He'll give us the update on that. But just the quarterback performance, let's get into it, man. What'd you see from him? Anything good? I did think he used his legs effectively at times. He had 5 carries for 37 yards. Took some hits again in the game, but what'd you see from the QB out there today?
I thought he was very average. I thought he, again, I mean, I'm not sure what to say about how he performed out there in that ball game. I mean, like you said, Jalen Hurts was 13 of 21. He had 39 yards in the first half. Barkley ended up with 119 yards in the ball game, 36 carries. I mean, Zander, this is pretty much standard operating procedure. Remember what I told you? I said 140 yards passing and about 60 yards rushing. He didn't get to the 60-yard rushing number, but this is what this guy is. He's not going to be any better than this. That's what that guy is. Devontae Smith, 55 yards. You had Dallas Goedert, 47. And A.J. Brown, this might be his worst game of the year. Okay, 1 catch for 10 yards. Your star guy, the guy you can't defend the slant. By the way, where was the slant? It was non-existent in this ball game.
They didn't use it, not once.
The passing game going one time in this ball game, only when they were in the red zone here. I mean, it just, in my opinion, that was a D-plus performance by him. He wasn't very good in that game.
Yeah, I think even D+ is a little bit generous. I guess you could give him D+ because he didn't turn the ball over. He did have 2 touchdowns.
And 1.
People are saying 2 touchdowns. I mean, look, it's great. It shows up on the stat sheet. It's 2 touchdowns. Let's look at the 2 touchdowns. The first touchdown, 7 seconds in the pocket, the longest touchdown pass of any quarterback in a clean pocket yet this entire football season. So that's unheard of and doesn't happen often. Jahan Dotson breaks free. You could see Jalen back there trying to get out of the pocket, but the edge, bit down, so he couldn't escape to the right. He forced him to stay in the pocket, which ended up being a good thing. And then the pass to Dallas Goedert, which let's tip our cap to what Dallas Goedert did. He absolutely bullied. Now that is demoralizing for an opponent. He completely took that guy's lunch money and didn't care about it. That was impressive by Dallas
You
Goedert.
even see Xavier McKinney.
Jalen Hurts was slicing and dicing. I mean, come on.
You even saw Xavier McKinney over on the sideline questioning the kid when he ended up allowing that run down the sideline from Dallas Goedert. So, I mean, hey, by the way, everyone can make all the excuses you want about your passing game. And I'll say it one more time. Many people thought after the Steeler game, your passing game was going to be fixed. It's not. It's not. This is what you are. This is what you are. And in a critical game where quarterbacks are going to make some plays, maybe you don't run. Zander, here's the thing. Maybe you don't run into that. Maybe you don't run into that in the NFC playoffs. I don't know. But I really don't know how the other teams are going to perform. And that just shows you once again the talent of the roster that you have on that football team. That we said it. Green Bay has nowhere on that football field where you look at where they had an advantage. Maybe the quarterback. Hey, by the way, again, I said an 11-point win. That's kind of right where they hung around. I thought it'd be a little more points scored by the offense because I thought the offense would put some more points on the board. They struggled all day long. Ton of 3-and-outs. Unbelievably awful performance by the offense.
No doubt about it. Let's go to that defense, Big Sills, on the defensive side of the ball. I thought they played.
You and me are talking about Super Bowl here. We're just
I know, and everybody wants us to just revel in the fact that we won a playoff game. If you guys want to revel in that fact, That's perfectly fine. You're entitled to do that.
You are.
I'm going to give you the truth. This is not a team, Big Sills, that's built from the ownership on down. Forget us. Forget what I say. Forget what Dan Sileo says. Jeffrey Lurie, the guy writing the checks, has Super Bowl expectations. If you believe that that performance and that team looked like a team capable of beating a Chiefs or the Bills or the Lions or even the Vikings, or shoot, we might be playing the Bucs next week, or the Bucs, I think you got another thing coming. That team has a lot to clean up in 1 week, Sills.
That Detroit Lions team will beat that performance today by 25 points.
You think you
by
said
25
what?
points. You have 3 and outs against that Lions team. Yeah. You'll get beat by 25 points.
I agree. That Detroit team is no joke, Big Sills. I mean, that team is – you're talking about a team that is going to put up more than 10 points and a quarterback that's not going to miss open receivers in the end zone. Jordan Love missed 2 open receivers in the end zone. Stafford
is going to miss open receivers like that, or Baker Mayfield, who, by the way –
I don't think Baker Mayfield,
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, who has a 2-1 record versus the Bucs in the last 2 years, who already beat you this year, and he's going to have all of his components. And you know the one thing that's different than that game that we saw earlier in the year? Yeah, you could say you're going to be healthier at the wide receiver position, but at the end of the day, your offensive passing game is not healthy. And you know what Baker Mayfield has? Baker Mayfield has a running game now, which now creates play action. Tell you what, I told you and I made a prediction that the Eagles would win 2 playoff games. Okay? I'm not so sure of that now.
Early return. Sileo tipping his hand a little bit. Let's go back to that defense. I want to stay on point here, Sills. I do think the defense had an impressive performance today. You created 4 turnovers in the playoff game. My favorite thing about the defense today, Sills, was they were physical. They were physical as hell. People were dropping like crazy in that game. You know, people are texting me, "Oh my God, these people are dropping." I'm like, good. It's playoff football. Put a body on somebody, and the defense did that today. And they really, I think they spooked the Packers offense, man. The Packers receivers, every time it felt like they got hit, they were down. I mean, every time. And I give the defense a lot of credit for that. Plus the 4 turnovers obviously held them to 10 points. I thought we're talking about championship performances. I did think that was a championship caliber performance from the defense.
Again, I'm going to go back to the personnel that was on the field too. You lose your left tackle early in the game. Then you lose your starting center. Then you lose your top 3 wide receivers. If you thought there was going to be consistency in that offense, and you can make the comment on next man up. And like everyone says, hey, this is playoff football. No question, man. Hey, whether or not that's not an Eagle problem that the Packers were getting banged up in that football game. It's not. But that's exactly what the game was. That's where you're going to get the inconsistency in the game. Did Jordan Love overthrow passes? Absolutely. Did he play well? Absolutely not. There was no way. But then tell me this. If the Packers played so shitty and were so bad, how was that a game heading into the fourth quarter? How in the world were you not winning? You should have won that game by 21 points.
Yeah, but that's where my problem with the offense is. Exactly what you just said. Even the halftime, Sills, you went into halftime, it was 10-0. You know, and all the people in here crying right now in the chat that we're not giving praise to the team, they were the same people on the halftime show commenting, we need a new quarterback. We need a new quarterback. To only be up 10 right now is egregious. I think the offense let them in that game. The defense did a great job, but you're asking how it was a fourth quarter game? Well, the offense couldn't execute. Think about it. We had 10 first half points. What the touchdown came, we started at our opponent 28-yard line. We had to go 20 yards. Now, credit to them. They did it. They got into the end zone. That's not easy to do either. But outside of that, they really didn't have much offense working for them today.
I mean, hey, you can make all the excuses. No, I'm not saying you, Zander, but people can make all the excuses that you want in this game. You want to hear this, Zander, if you think about it. So he had 39 yards passing in the first half. What did he have for the second half? 70? I mean,
he had a 130 total, so I guess he had 90 yards in the second half.
Okay, so he had 90 yards in the second half with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert in your huddle. You really think you had a passing game when your quarterback can't keep you and have a rhythm? I mean, I'm just saying, man, I don't know. I mean, we can make all the excuses we want here. Everything you said, Zander, missed throws by Jordan Love, poor offensive play, 4 turnovers. I don't get it. I don't know how anybody feels good coming out of that because, again, if you want to do this and you want to dissect it this way, hey, Sills, a win's a win. Absolutely correct. Do I see the overall picture of you going into the playoffs here hot? You're not hot. Okay? You're not hot.
It came out hot. I felt good. I'm not going to lie. After the first quarter, Sills, I thought the opposite. After the first quarter, I was like, boy, this team is peaking at the right time. They look damn good. And then after that, they really couldn't get anything going on offense, and it was kind of a slow stall from there on both sides for both teams. Both offenses couldn't get anything going. But I thought the first quarter was impressive. I mean, the way they came out in the game, they were hitting, they were putting bodies on people, they were forcing turnovers, they were making plays. Jalen Hurts was started the game 6-6, touchdown on the board. I'm like, whoa, the Eagles showed up. The Eagles came ready to play today. After that, it wasn't so good.
How do you think Jalen Hurts played?
I don't think he played good at all. I don't think he played good. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it for the people that want me to sugarcoat it. I thought that was one of his worst games of the year. It was terrible. Terrible.
Zander, how many great games has he played in the playoffs, would you say? And I'm going to lean on you on this. He's played 5 now. One amazing game. One maybe a decent 2, right?
Well, let's look. Well, no, I think I'll give him more than 1 because if you go back to 22, 21, he got bounced, and 23, he got bounced, and he didn't have his best games in either of those 2 games. So rule those 2 out. 2022, you had 3 playoff games. You had the Giants, you had the Vikings, and you had the Super Bowl. Or no, not the Vikings. Excuse me, the 49ers and the Super Bowl. The Giants game
less than 140 in all of them.
But here's the thing with the Giants game. He did start out 10 for 10 in that game, and you were up 21-0 before the first half.
That's what I said.
So he didn't really – he went into conserve mode.
That's
and
what I said.
I'm not going to knock him.
A good game and a great game in 5
I'll give him 2. I'll give him 2 good playoff games.
2 good playoff games. The rest of them have been below average. I mean, again, this is – but Zander, let's go back to something, though, and kind of give them kudos here on one thing. Remember what we said about Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts doesn't have to win 4 in a row. He's got to win 1. And maybe if he gets into that Super Bowl game, he does what he did in that Super Bowl game against Kansas City, and he's able to cross the finish line. You know, Allen and Lamar and the rest of those guys, they've got to perform A+. There's another example, Zander, where a guy performs a D+ football game and they win. Josh Allen can't put a D+ game out there because Buffalo loses.
Maybe my problem, Sills, is that my expectations are too high. I hear these things, quarterback's getting paid $50 million, and I don't care. It's great he's getting paid that. But doesn't that come with the expectation of greatness, or at least some degree of it?
Yes.
And I think as a fan base, we've continued to take the goalpost.
That's why I rip
move it here, move it here, move it here. I mean, for all the people who comment that you moved the goalpost, sheesh, can we look ourselves in the mirror as fans? It used to be, Jalen's going to be elite. Then we regressed it to that. Then we regressed it to Saquon Barkley. Now it's just, please, if you don't turn the ball over, I'm happy with your performance. That's actually where we are. So people are commenting to me on Twitter right now and on our chat. Jalen had no turnovers today. It was a fine game. Oh, great.
Congratulations for doing your fucking job. That's what a quarterback's job is, not to turn the ball over. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that team wins in spite of the quarterback?
I don't know if it's in spite of, but I don't think he's the number 1 or really even maybe the number 4 or 5 reason that they win games. I think he does a good job. I think he helps the running game be dominant with our offensive line. I think in moments he's good. I think his demeanor and his stoicism helps when you have a team that fluctuates highs and lows, and there's a lot of highs and lows in an NFL season. I think he does great things. I don't think he's the reason this team wins. I mean, what's the reason Buffalo wins? What's the reason the Ravens win? What's the reason the Chiefs win? What's the reason the Lions win? They have a great team, but they have a quarterback.
If the Packers win, Jordan Love is the reason that they win if they win. Every single quarterback in the postseason, that is the narrative of their team. This guy has the best roster around him. Tom Brady said it best. This formula has to be the formula that takes him to the Super Bowl and wins, because your quarterback is not capable, or he is not qualified to be in that huddle with all those star guys. You had a fucking superstar wide receiver today superstar wide receiver
Reading
checking out a book at a library because he was so freaking bored today, and he was reading Man of War, and he was reading Sun Tzu on how to get motivated. Do you understand what Brady said? Because it showed the book how to be motivated and stay motivated. I mean,
Sills, again, I was going to say it to you. Maybe I've set my expectations too high. Because remember what I told you on the shows this week when we were doing content together all week preparing for this game. I said, I don't think Jalen has to be exceptional. And I guess part of my mental psyche changed when the game comes on. You just expect your quarterback to be great, especially in these moments, especially when you hear from the fan base how awesome he is and you look at how many wins he gets and all those great things. I'm not saying it's not great, but maybe my own expectations are what I need to temper, because I expect more than, let's see what the final number was, 13 of 21 for 131 and 2 touchdowns. I expect more than just a game manager that doesn't need to turn the ball over. I expect greatness. I expect a guy that can elevate the offense. Forget that. I expect a guy that can utilize the weapons he has. He has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They combined today for 66 yards. Combined in a playoff effort. I don't think that's good utilization of your weapons.
I have some things out there that are kind of floating around here that I'm going to keep over here until we find out a little bit more information. But since 2022, Jalen Hurts has regressed as a quarterback in that huddle and on that football team. And now we also are starting to get some text messages that potentially, and I say potentially until we get maybe John telling us more, Nakobe Dean is lost for the playoffs.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
We are going to find out more. I hope not, but that could be an issue heading into a game against Tampa Bay and then down the line against the Rams, Minnesota, or Detroit, having one of those linebackers out. So that could be an issue on that side of the football because he's an integral part this year of that defense and what those guys have done. So, I mean, hey, it was funny. I was watching Saquon Barkley play. Boy, those 119 yards, there was a difference. Hey, what was the difference in the game? The 130 yards passing or the 119? The 119 kept Green Bay on the sidelines. If it wasn't for the running game, Green Bay would have been in a position to score with a shitty football team. They'd have nothing left. They lost 6 guys today. 6 guys rolled off the team on both sides of the football, and they hung in there for 3.5 quarters. Unbelievable.
No doubt about it. Let's get a couple super chats here. We're 30 minutes into the show. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're not hearing what you want to hear, I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie to you. As an Eagle fan, I don't feel better about making a Super Bowl run after watching that game. Am I happy we won? Absolutely. Do we get to live to see another week? Absolutely we do. Is it important to win a big playoff game? Absolutely it is. Do I believe that's a team that can march to the Super Bowl and raise the trophy this February? Right now, not after that game, I don't. I think they're capable of getting there, but we have a lot to see before they do get there. And that's my take on the game. And like I said, I'm not going to lie to you. I love you guys too much to lie to you, Big Sills. They want me to lie to them, Sills. I can't do it, Sills.
How about this? Do you think that relationship between the quarterback and the wide receiver and the star wide receiver is a true thing now? I do. No wide receiver that has a relationship with the starting quarterback is going to undermine him and make him look bad like that. No, have you ever seen anything like that before in your life? Not even T.O. did shit like that. I've never seen anything like that. I think it made the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, and the head coach look stupid. You had a guy on the side. You know what I first thought it was? I thought it was like a playbook or something. That's what I first thought it was. I thought it was something that they had put together for. Then Tom Brady goes, no, it was a regular book he's reading. And I'm like, how could you not be engaged in what's going on in a 10-point ball game in the third quarter? How could you not be engaged? Again, I'm taking that as a metaphor. Okay? I am. I'm taking that as a metaphor. Hey, Anthony, I don't give a fuck what you think, bro. Your football team, you know what I started doing? Your quarterback is not very good.
So you know what I started doing when they showed AJ? I immediately knew, by the way. Immediately knew when they showed him with the book. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. We're going to be talking about this all week long. I started prancing around my studio here, singing AJ Owens, AJ Diva Brown is back. Diva Brown is back. That was obnoxious. I mean, come on. I know you want the ball, but it's a playoff game, man. Come on with that. Let's get to a couple super chats here. Oh, good guy to talk about here. Dover's Army says Nolan Smith now has more playoff sacks than TJ Watt. How you doing, Sills? He showed up today, man. 2 sacks, getting pressure. How about that? He knocked Elton Jenkins, I think it was, out of the game early from just a brutal hit. He's playing physical. He's playing fast. He's getting around the edge. He now looks like he's officially turned the corner and is a legitimate NFL player. You get 2 sacks in a week 3 game, Sills. Okay. You get 2 sacks in a playoff game, you got my attention.
Okay, here's the 2 things to go forward with Nolan Smith. Just like it became an apparent thing today with Nakobe Dean. Size will be an issue, okay? And size was an issue today on the injury to Dean, the war of attrition, and also how long will Nolan Smith be able to do. That being said, set the edge well, got pressure, hit the quarterback, also created pressure. Really had a good – that was, in my opinion, the best ball game I've seen Nolan Smith ever play.
I agree. And that happens in the playoffs. That's impressive stuff.
And in a game that you had to win, correct.
You're right. A-Team checks in. A-Team, I brought this up earlier, but I will read your whole super. Thank you, brother, for your support. Thanks, everybody, by the way, for all their support. Hit that like button. All right. We appreciate all you guys in JAKIB Nation here.
Jalen Hurts.
Jason A-Team says, no holds defense.
Worst quarterback in the playoffs. No, I'll take that back. Russell Wilson is.
Russell Wilson's out. Justin Herbert didn't look too good either, by the way. Sorry. Didn't.
Okay.
No holds defense.
At least Justin Herbert has to carry the team. Hurts doesn't.
Come on, don't justify that crap performance for me.
Oh, no,
4
you're
picks
right.
yesterday.
That's right. Jalen has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and all that star talent.
Yeah, but why can't 2 things be true?
And he fucking looks like that.
Why can't 2 things be true?
If you put Justin Herbert in Philly, are you suggesting to me that he wouldn't win if he had a shitty performance too?
I don't know, because he throws four meatballs.
Okay.
He throws 4 meatballs and turns the ball over 4 times in a playoff game.
Ball off the Saquon Barkley like they're doing in LA, like they're doing in Philly. You're telling me you believe Justin Herbert wouldn't be an upgrade to Hurts? Dude,
I never said. Don't put words in my mouth.
Sam Darnold would be an upgrade to Hurts.
Big Sills, don't put words in my mouth, 1. But number 2, as much as I love you,
because Herbert's better.
As much as I love you, I can't listen to this after watching that 4 interception meatball yesterday.
I'm not even near the same room you are, because Justin Herbert has who do you consider a star?
What Sills? Are we about to talk about Justin Herbert on the postgame? I don't give a shit about Justin Herbert.
Who do you consider a star player in Justin Herbert's huddle? Who?
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about Justin Herbert on the Eagles.
Sure, no problem. We move on.
I mean, let's read the super chat here. Congrats to Q. First pick. Dude deserves it. Hurts scares me, but as a player, he was rusty. He will get better. Dean is a huge loss, and Nolan Smith is a baller.
There it is. I knew, because I wrote down excuse number 3. Rust would be it. Nick said he didn't have any issues with it. He said it in his press conference Friday. I have no issues with it. Those guys have been performing all year long. They work together. They do all the same things. So what? Your head coach is full of shit? I happen to agree with you, Zander, what Brady said. I thought Rust would be an issue. Not Nick, not the organization. Nobody thought it would be an issue. Okay. Well, it played out. It was.
Well, don't you kind of think that Kellen Moore called the game like he thought Rust would be an issue? He didn't really put the ball in Jalen's hands too much. I mean, 21 attempts in the game. I mean, he wasn't going, like I said on the halftime show, I was dumbfounded that I thought what's the one foolproof way to get Jalen, in rhythm after missing through it? What's the one foolproof way? Get A.J. Brown on a slant. They didn't do it once, and I couldn't believe that they didn't do it. But, you're not wrong. Let's go to another super here. Lord Lubu says a win's a win. Good QBs win games. Doesn't matter how pretty it looks. You're not wrong, Lubu. We're not saying that. Ask Love and Herbert if they would trade spots with Hurts right now. Go Birds. Well, yeah, because they don't have a good roster, so they definitely would. But I hear you. Look, there's going to be a lot of that, Sills. That's what's going to be the response.
It's excuse city right now.
That's what it is. I agree. It's
excuse city. It's been excuse here. 2903. It's been excuse city all year long. Well, the reason why Jalen doesn't really have to throw the ball is because they're running the ball. Hey man, you're going to need to pass. Do you agree now with this, at least, Sander? You're going to have to throw the football. You're going to have to throw the football to win a Super Bowl.
I agree 100%. You have the Detroit Lions, and I love this defense. Defense going to be great, but this Detroit Lions are averaging 34 points a game. I mean, they're making every defense in the NFL right now look pedestrian. So I think our defense will fare a little bit better against them, but that's a tight win. Like even Jordan Love today, he was not threading the tight windows. He had a couple nice throws, but overall it looked like he had a lot of air under his ball, not a lot of zip on the ball. I'm not sure if he's not fully healed up, but Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff, they're tight window throw quarterbacks. They zip that ball in there. So expect the defense to give up a little bit more yards than they did today. And that would be perfectly fine if you could count on your offense to string together some good drives and put some points on the board. But our offense right now is Saquon or bust.
That's the key with what you just said. Stringing together drives. Hey, you know what I miss? Zander, I miss the days when the Eagles were putting these 14-play drives together and just killing the clock. And what happened to those? What happened with those drives like that,
Look, this is a great super chat. MC says, Big Sills, I love your takes when it's justified. However, you are the ultimate troll.
Really? Well, then if I'm the ultimate troll, what did you see today, MC? What did you see out of your quarterback today in your passing game? If you think that's troll and that's a lie, how about this? Let me ask you this. If you really think what I said about your passing game today was trolling, then guess what? I can't have a conversation with you about it because you know why? You're watching something completely different and you're making excuses up for a guy that's not going to win a Super Bowl this year. Just not going to happen.
I don't disagree with you, Big Sills. Let's get to our first commercial break. Big thanks to all of our super chats in here. We will read all super chats before the show ends. If you're new to JAKIB, I never end a show. Ever will end a show without reading all of our super chats. So big thanks to everybody that supports the show, that's in the chat, comment, like, share, subscribe, do everything you can do to help us grow. We appreciate that very much. Let's get to our commercial break and hear from our great sponsors, Live Casino, Fritz and Bean Cooley, and some of the great people that keep JAKIB Sports on the air. We'll be back in 3 minutes, everybody.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bean Cooley Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an Audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show here. It's a Wildcard Weekend edition, and the Philadelphia Eagles are moving on a 22-10 win for the Birds, and we will move on, or survive and advance, as they say. So we'll be in the divisional round next weekend for the Birds. That game will be in Philly as the 2 seed. We move on. Big Sills, it looks like you got something on your mind. What is it, my friend?
How about this, man? They said that, unfortunately, Nakobe was walking out of the locker room in a brace and on crutches. Yeah. So hopefully John gets – they're not going to give us a lot probably today, but we'll probably hear this more towards Wednesday. But, yeah, that's not a good sign to see that Nakobe's not going to be potentially in this upcoming divisional round. So let's wait and see and hope that he is able to play in that ball game.
Yeah, so as I always say, I'm not a doctor, and I'll never profess to
me
be
either.
One. People are a lot smarter than me for that. But
hey, I play one on the radio here on the TV, right?
That didn't look good, dude. That didn't look good. He went down.
Yeah.
It looked like for a second he thought about getting up, and then he real quick, he's like, I need help. And then he got up, limped off, and they immediately carted him out of that game. And the one other tell was, and John McMullen pointed this out in the halftime show, typically teams take like a second to rule a guy out of a game, right? Like even when Jalen Hurts had his concussion a couple of weeks ago, they take some time to rule people out. They ruled Nakobe Dean out almost instantly. I think that was a tell of, hey, we don't need to look much deeper. This is a big injury here. So we could be without him for the remainder of the postseason. Sales. That's going to be a big factor, in my opinion.
Remember what I told you, that I thought that the safeties had to really play well. I thought Reed Blankenship was all over the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a boatload of tackles in the ball game. I mean, he was right up there. And I got to say one more time, I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. This kid, Zack Bon, has gone from being an obscure guy who was a special teams dude, who was a nobody, to being in the conversation. Zander, you got to start doing it. This guy's not a one-year wonder. This guy here, he's a ball player that I don't know what they're going to do when it comes to signing and contracts, but I'll tell you what, man, he can freaking play. He was everywhere again. Did you see him down the field, covering in the secondary too? He's down the field. I mean, he's down the field. He's scraping sideline to sideline. He was the best player on the field.
I think that's one of the reasons that makes him so good. His instincts are so good. He reads the play and he reacts so quickly that he's in position. I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the most agile guy in the world, but his ability to read and react on the fly, he's always in the right spot. And he makes plays, man, constantly. How about that pick today, though? Well, I mean, Jordan Love, I mean, Zach didn't even bait him, Sills. Like, he didn't even try and show a blitz or anything. He dropped back, and the ball got delivered to his hands.
I'm shocked he caught it, because he probably went, holy shit. Like Brady said, it's probably like the easiest interception you can ever have out there. I mean, what was he possibly looking at in there? That shows you that, can I tell you what that tells you me a little bit about what Vic was doing? Vic was doing a lot of some of the things that I said about post-snap coverages. And he was moving the guys around because he wasn't expecting him to be there. That's a post-snap coverage by Vic. I thought Vic had a great game today. Vic Fangio continues to improve and continues to impress every single football game. Zander, he has a feel and a knack for calling the plays and developing the guys. I mean it, man. Vic Fangio, I didn't really know how good he was until I've seen him play. But don't you think he's gotten better just with the rhythm and knowing his players since the bye? He's insane how good he is.
Sills, let me ask you this. How big of an impact do you think it's going to be losing Nakobe Dean? Now, I know you still have a Pro Bowl, or an All-Pro, not a Pro Bowler anymore. There's an All-Pro in Zack Bon at linebacker. but I really felt like the tandem of them they complemented one another well. It was the reason that both of them were able to play at such a high level. If we have no Nakobe Dean, what kind of impact do you think that has? I think the running game has an impact on the running game. How do you see that playing out for this defense? Because I think it could be a realistic thing that Nakobe Dean has done for the year.
I think that's going to be a target in the next game, either for Minnesota or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that they'll bring those backs, because Tampa Bay likes to get Bucky Irvin out there too on threatening the linebackers. I think you could see something in that realm. And also Aaron Jones. Remember something, Aaron Jones played the majority of his career up there with Aaron Rodgers, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and they'll probably target that. So, with Slay going in and out, I thought Darius Slay played a really good ball game when he was in the game. I really thought that after a couple plays that you kind of questioned on Quinyon Mitchell, I thought the secondary, they did a really nice job, man. I really did. I thought there was adequate pressure, the internal pressure too. Jalen Carter he creates a lot of problems in there. And you know what he's starting to get a knack for doing? He's starting to get a knack for swatting footballs down.
Yes. Another big swat today.
That's a knack thing that you're here too, because he swatted a couple down today.
There's some timing to that, right, Sills? There's some timing to that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Timing. We're starting to see that consistently now, where you're starting to see that week in and week out.
Did Big Sills have a knack for that back in his heyday at Miami?
Homie, you could eat a bowl of soup off my head. I think you got to be around 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, that's right.
Things like that a little bit there. Okay?
You relied on the Big Sills power, right?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'd have to jump. I'd have to get a Tokyo phone book to stand on it to be able to do the things that those big boys were doing in there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So I thought I'm going to stick on the defense a little bit. Anybody else stick out to you? Mentioned Blankenship. We talked a little bit about Zack Bon. I think the loss in Nakobe Dean is significant. And we just mentioned Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith as well. I'm going to mention my guy. I've been talking about him all year, and you've been pushing back. And Sills, can you believe this? We're both right? Darius Slay keeps making plays and playing good, but he keeps missing games. He keeps going out. I'm like, me and Sills, somehow both of us are right, but Slay made another big play. That was a really, really nice interception by Slay.
It absolutely was. And when he's in the ball game, there's no question that the secondary is more solidified. Yeah. And I mean, when he's in, Zander, he's making plays, but we're seeing him coming in, and boy, it's been a tough year for him. But the guy with the best stat line in the ball game was Nolan Smith. Eight total tackles, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs. I mean, that was the defensive player of the game in there. You can put Reed in there with his 11 tackles, but I mean, I thought, like I said, Jalen Carter played well. I even saw some plays in there with Jalix Hunt. Not that he played exceptional, but I saw some plays in there. Hey, and I thought this too. When Nakobe went out, I thought Oren Burks, I thought he filled the pail, and I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was great, but I thought he was okay in the ball game. And I didn't think it was that gigantic of a drop-off. Now, again, do I think Oren Burks could do the things that Nakobe has done this year? That's not what I'm saying. For one game, he didn't let it look like it was a cliff diving off the cliff there a little bit. So I thought he stepped in. But now you're going to have a team that's going to be game planning against you coming up next week. Right. Let's see how that plays out here.
Yeah, just an update on that game. The Tampa Bay Bucks are up 3-0 in that game. So very low scoring first quarter so far, just 3-0. But the update is if the Bucks win that game, everybody, so that game's ongoing right now. If the Tampa Bay Bucks beat the Washington Commanders, we will face the Bucks next week in Philly. That is done, dusted, and set. So if the Bucks win, they're coming to Philly next week. I can see the smirk in there from Big Sills already.
Guess who we're going to if that happens, I hope it does happen in a way. Sorry, James Jones, but if that happens, Bruce Arians. We will get Bruce Arians on, who's the senior executive who's picking the coaching staff. We will get him on Tuesday, and you know who else we'll get on that week? We'll get Tony Dungy on that week as well. For that, if that ends up happening. So, and for the record, Baker Mayfield owns the Eagles the last 2 ball games, beating them in a playoff game and crushing them and stomping them out earlier in the year before the bye.
Dude, I think even bigger than that. You're not wrong, by the way. Baker Mayfield's been very good against the Eagles. He's been very good, period, end of sentence.
Yes.
I mean, how many passing yards and touchdowns has he thrown this year? He was
40.
missing You know, he missed Chris Godwin about more than half the year. He missed Mike Evans for 3 or 4 weeks of the year. I think it was actually 5 weeks of the year. Mike Evans played 12 games this year.
Last week. That was a great take by you last week when somebody brought it up and they're like, hey, you know, this guy's got star players. And we were talking about Jalen missing players because they were in and out of the lineup. And you fired back and you sent that to me and you go, hey, wait a minute. Baker Mayfield has missed a ton of guys. And this guy still threw for 4,000 yards, and he's got a 1,000-yard back. So you're dead on with that there, man. So, hey, by the way, would you not agree that Baker Mayfield the last 2 years, this guy has absolutely turned his absolute career around? I mean, I can't believe how great this guy – and if you're Cleveland, aren't you sitting back doing this shit? This guy threw for 4,500 yards this year, Zander. He threw for 41 touchdowns, 106 rating, and 71 completion percentage. Everything across the board. Threw the ball for 570 times in the ball game and still had a 71 completion percentage. That guy's a really good – you know what? I can't say it. Say it, Sills. He's a great player. He's really good. I can't do it yet. But this guy's had it. If that was any other guy, say that was any other guy with those stat numbers, 41 touchdowns, being in the playoffs, too. He's put the Bucs 2 years in a row in the playoffs, coming off of Brady. This guy's playing good football, man.
He is, and there's a good chance we see them next week, so we will see what happens in that game. Let's continue to recap Big Sills on this game. A lot of people are not happy that we're not giving more credit. And
You're not happy.
Huh?
You're not.
I'm not happy. You're right. No. I'm not happy. You know, my guy, Philadelphia's in the chat. What's up, Philadelphia?
Tell people why you're not happy, though.
Philadelphia, let me ask you a question, all right? Because my guy Philadelphia's always telling me how he uses the eye to see the game. Killa, the eye couldn't have showed you today that Jalen Hurts had a great performance. The eye couldn't have showed you today that offense is good enough to take us to a Super Bowl. Now, maybe it's different for somebody else, but for me, that's what my eye saw. I don't know about you. I'm pretty surprised that there's so many people in here saying that this is a Super Bowl team. Didn't look like it to me.
How about, and again, you know, do you know what the new line will be for the Jalenites? The new line will be, you've got to win games like this. No shit. You've got to win games like this. But your quarterback can't look that bad. He was bad, okay? He did not have a good game. He had a D-plus type ball game. But then again, Jalen has to play one game in the playoffs, and that's all he's going to be asked to play and win that ball game. Let me tell you this. If you didn't have Saquon Barkley on that football team, you're not beating that shitty Packer team. You're not. You're just not beating him.
No, I agree.
He's not good enough to carry you to a Super Bowl.
I agree. And there's no excuses. We talked about this on the pregame show. I don't want to hear rust. I don't want to hear any of it. All right. That was not a good performance from the quarterback. And for anybody think that Jalen's the reason we won that game, I mean, come on.
No, they want it to be that way. They're willing that way to be that way.
Man. I mean, what are we doing? You want me to lie to myself? You want me to lie to you on air so that I can start to believe my own lies? I mean, come on, man. That was not a good performance from the quarterback. It shouldn't be It's not a hate. That's the reality. It wasn't a great performance from Jalen Hurts today. And if we want to go to the Super Bowl, you're going to need number one to be better. We're going to need number one to be better. I don't think that's controversial or hating or any of the things you guys are accusing me of in the chat. I love the Eagles. I'd love to see this team win a damn Super Bowl this year. Jalen Hurts got to be better to do that, Big Sills.
So Bruce Arians sends me a picture. He's sitting in the stands. I want you.
Oh, no. Is that from Bruce?
Bruce sends me pictures. What's going on here? I want you.
Good stuff from Bruce Arians. Hopefully we can get him on, man. Hopefully we can get him on this week. That would be great. Let's get to a couple supers. We got a lot of people checking in. Big thanks to everybody supporting the show. We'll have John McMullen, who's going to join us soon. Did Jalen Hurts speak yet? Because once Jalen Hurts speaks, Johnny Mack will be up with us. What's that?
What can Jalen Hurts possibly say about that? Hey, you know what it's going to be? Hey, you know, we got to run. You know, there was a really tough football game. It was a physical football game. You know
what's amazing, Shows? I keep getting this in the chat today. Look, my guy Jeff Fox. Jeff, I love you, brother, and it's all right. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. It's all good. You guys at the end of the day. At the end of the day, your guys' opinions of me don't really mean any. I love you, but they don't really mean anything. I got a show to do. I got work to do. I'm going to be here making content, whether you're tuned in or not. But I'm dumbfounded. Did we watch the same game? Did you watch that game and come out of there and say, no, I'm serious. I'm not even being joking. I'm seriously asking Eagles Nation.
I am being serious.
Did you watch that game and come out of that and say, oh, this is a Super Bowl team. Oh, that's a Super Bowl quarterback. I think it's fair to say it's a Super Bowl defense. Outside of that, I don't want to hear it.
And a Super Bowl run game. Zander, do I really need to remind you who you are? Wait a minute. I'm going to do something to you and remind you who you are. You are unrational Eagle fans. You're trying to be You're trying to be rational doing a show when you know the people you talk to are not rational. Okay? They're passionate. They're not rational.
And I love them for it.
That's right.
I love them for it.
They're not
Marquise.
rational.
Look at Marquise. He says Xander's switching up on Marquise. You got to be outside your mind. We're going to the Super Bowl. But Marquise, it's got to look a little better than it did today. Do you not agree with that, Marquise?
It's just great.
I mean, come on, man. I can't wait to talk to John. John just sent me a text. He's going to be with us soon. So we'll get John up here and we'll get his takeaway on this whole thing because I think it's a great
win. Spell M. Reyes. You want me to spell rational? JOSHALLEN. Josh Allen. That's rational.
You got to be kidding me. The people are calling me compromised. Silly. This thing's off the rail. They're not happy with me today, Big Sills.
Woo, man. Unbelievable.
You're right, Reyes. J-Mac will deliver the truth. Let's rattle some super chats until we get to J-Mac. Thank you, guys. By the way, man, the support, as always, goes a long way, and I appreciate the heck out of all you guys. Romeo checks in. I watched that game and knew what it was at the beginning of the season. We will live and die as Jalen hits highs and lows. Can't even blame Nick's bad play calling as much, but yeah, that sucks too. That's true. Play calling wasn't great today either.
Absolutely, man.
Well, are you laughing at this guy? Look, yeah. Xander is balding under this hat. I'm very open about me balding. If you think I care, I care?
My
God! Hide in it? Come on, man! I don't care.
Poor Xander is getting hammerized by Sileo-ized people in here. These people are Sileo-ized, and they're going, "Don't do it, Xander."
You know what I love? Look how much time this guy. He even made the profile picture bald is beautiful. I mean, this guy went through everything to try and, make fun of me. And it's all right, man. I love you. It's all right, brother. I appreciate you for being here, man. It means a lot to me that you're here. All right. Pumper checks in. Hey, Jalen, I don't give a damn. Y'all think he's handsome. He's cheeks at playing football. It's not fun when the rabbit got the gun. MC says, Xander, I am not satisfied with Jalen's performance. However, they won, and let's focus on the next game. That's fair. I'm good with that, MC. I'm good. We'll read one more, and then we'll get to Johnny Mack, who just checked in. Surgical checks in. Why did it look like last year until second half? I know Nick has his fingerprints. Did you see Smitty booking on a screen? I didn't see that. I don't think Nick.
Smitty booking on a screen, I don't know. He was too engaged in War and Peace on the sidelines reading.
I don't believe Nick.
I can't wait to talk to John about that. Hey, he was reading War and Peace on the sideline, and he was trying to give us a little bit. I thought it was War and Peace, but I also thought it was Sun Tzu because he was looking for inspiration. I love the metaphor. He was so bored. He was so bored with the passing offense. This guy had to pull a book off the library there in Philly because he was so bored. War and Peace. Thank you very much. Chapter 4.
All right, let's bring him up right now. The man, the myth, the legend, the number one Eagles beat reporter in town, the best person covering the Philadelphia Eagles right now on the beat is John McMullen, and he joins us right now on the JAKIB Postgame Show after a big 22-10 win. Johnny Mack, we're on to the divisional round, my friend. What did you see out there today, John? What were your takeaways from this win over the Green Bay Packers?
Pretty emphatic win, but it's hard to be excited about the offense. I was kind of surprised that Nick Sirianni was pretty honest about that. Not the best performance by the offense. So, obviously they were 2 for 11 on third downs. They didn't throw the football effectively. Saquon had a good game. He probably could have broke that last one, and the numbers would have looked better, but he's just doing his job to end the game. But overall, I mean, they dominated this football game. And it started from play number one, the tone setter, Oren Burks on Keyshawn Nixon. They were talking about Keyshawn Nixon all week. That was a whole big thing. Now I can talk about it during the week of preparation. They made some changes on kickoff coverage. Nolan Smith was out there. They were talking about block destruction. They were talking about limiting his space. He had a big kickoff return against him in week one, and they did it, man. They shut him down. And Oren Burks from play number one to get that big hit, the fumble. So that's positive. And the 3 interceptions, 4 turnovers total. Dominated the game again defensively. This defense is something else. No matter who's out there. They shut down Josh Jacobs except for that one run, sort of like a Marshawn Lynch beastquake run. That was a hell of a run by Josh Jacobs, but they shut him down pretty much other than that one run. Zack Bon, magical season continues. He was phenomenal today, both in coverage, physicality, everything, all pro, deserving all pro. Yeah. And John, AJ, inner excellence, not War and Peace. Inner excellence. That's the name of the book.
John, I said this to Zander, to me.
By Jim Murphy. We'll give Jim Murphy from Love. He prints that book every game.
Jim, checks in the mail. Come on, Jim.
Hey, John, to me, I mean, that's not a Super Bowl performance by a team that considered to be a Super Bowl contender, but we'll see how it plays out for the rest of the playoffs. But you and I have been both saying this the entire back half of the season, second half of the season. You're going to have plays from the passing game if you're going to want to go on and truly win a Super Bowl. I mean, they lost 5 guys in that offensive huddle by the end of the football game, and Love did not play well. And I looked up and I thought the game was 75-0. I look up, it's 10-0. They're still in the ball game. And as they get into the third quarter, it's still a one-possession game until they're able to take care of it and start stretching it out, which we both all said that it was going to happen. Their talent was going to take over. You dominated it, but then at the end of the day, you kept them in it for about 3.5 quarters. You're right, John. John, it should have been a knockout punch early, but it wasn't. Do you think they go into this week concerned about the passing game? Because once again, John, this thing has not been rectified. Pittsburgh was more of a one of than it was rectifying that game because that passing game was inept today.
No, it wasn't good, except, the one thing they did well was when Green Bay sort of made a move, when they finally scored, and it was only a field goal, it made it a 10-3 game, and then they came back with that drive with that ended with the Dallas Goedert catch and run with the 2-step on perspective. That was a hell of a catch and run by Dallas Goedert. Yes, and that extended it to 16-3. Yeah. And then they cut it to 16-10, and they were looking bad. And you say, all right, here comes the Packers. Maybe this is maybe let's and they went on another drive. So they answered when they needed to answer. But I will say that, it was pretty clear Nick was not happy with the offensive performance, and he said they're not taking off Monday. Now, we don't know if they're going to play Saturday or Sunday. So if they're playing Saturday, which they're probably not, then he's got to give the players a day off. But they're probably going to play Sunday. It's either going to be Tampa Bay, or if Washington wins tonight, they will play the winner of the Vikings and Rams. So 3 of the 4 teams they could potentially play. But we'll have a better indication tonight. If Tampa Bay wins, they're going to play Tampa Bay. So they'll probably know if they're going to play on Saturday or Sunday tonight. But they were not happy with the passing game, no doubt about it, offensively. And look, they look good early in the game. It was as they got into the guts of the game, then it became a problem. And I saw you got one super chat about I saw, oh, the offense didn't look good. It's Nick Sirianni. That type. It's always, come on, guys. Kellen Moore's running the stinking offense. Good, bad, or indifferent. And yeah, the passing game isn't where it needs to be. Hasn't been where it needs to be all season, though. They keep winning games. You know, we can keep talking about it. Is it going to end in the divisional round? Maybe. Is it going to end in the NFC Championship game? Maybe. Is it going to end in the Super Bowl? Maybe. But there's only 3 more hurdles to go. Maybe they can win the way they're playing.
Yeah. That's what Brady said. Brady made the point of that, John, that he said this. He's like, listen, the passing game needs to be a lot better, but hey, they got a formula right now that this has won them a ton of ball games. And as long as they're not turning, he thinks the key to this offense, John, is not so much the passing game. It's more so the turnover game. If they don't turn the ball over and they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be a tough out because that roster's so talented.
Yeah.
John, analyze. I mean, you just kind of went.
When they don't turn it.
Sorry, you're on a little delay. Go ahead, John. I'll let you talk. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, when they don't turn it over, I mean, they're going to win the game. And it's kind of, they should have won by much more today. You have a 4 turnover advantage, but bottom line is they take care of the football. Look, we can all talk about stats and all that kind of stuff. Jalen Hurts was not good tonight, but he had 111 passer rating or whatever because he didn't turn the football over. Depends what kind of statistics people want to look at. But if you win ugly or you win pretty or you get style points, you only get credit for 1 win. So right now, this is the team they are. They win with defense in the running game, and maybe they can finish it with defense in the running game.
John, maybe, but let me just play devil's advocate. I mean, Jordan Love missed a couple throws in that game, John. 2 in the end zone. I can think of off the top of my head that he didn't. I just straight up missed them. The big 4th down throw where he just airmailed it over the guy's head and he ended up stepping out of bounds. If you get into a game in the playoffs, John, I know you only have 3 hurdles left. You're not wrong. But I fear that Jalen Hurts quote, you don't get, what was it? You don't get got until you get got or something along those lines.
Sometimes you don't get, sometimes.
Whatever it was.
Sometimes
I fear, John, it's a better quarterback with the Jared Goff, with the Baker Mayfield, with the Jaden Daniels. They're not going to miss those throws. And you had 3 turnovers in the first half and we're up by 10, John. I mean, that's not a big enough margin for error, especially if your offense is not going to be proficient in the passing game. I'm sorry, but that's not a performance that I can look at and say, oh, we can hang with the Detroit Lions. I can't say it. I can't honestly say that.
Yeah, it's tough to envision, because you would say Detroit is going to score some points, but I thought Green Bay, to be fair, was going to score some points. Now, I'm not going to compare Green Bay to Detroit, but coming into this game, I predicted 27-23. I thought Green Bay was going to score some points. They didn't. Right. As you mentioned, Zander, he missed some throws. Those 2, throws in the end zone that should have been made, to be honest, by a big-time NFL quarterback, which he's supposed to be, is going to make those throws. You mentioned the 4th down throw. That was bad. Took his receiver out of bounds. A lot of bad from Jordan Love today. But, as Dan pointed out, they had a ton of injuries. Jenkins went down early in the game. That was the key point of the game.
Yeah.
Because he's one of their 2 best offensive linemen. And when he went out of the game, they just could not block on the interior. They got caught for 3 holding calls that kept pushing them back. They had 2 players replace Jenkins. Both of them got called for holding. And they had other injuries, on skill position. They were down to Bo Melton at the end because Dobbs went out and Reed went out. I mean, and they're deep at receiver, but when you're down to that point, so that's the war of attrition. And the Eagles, unfortunately, had some of it as well with Nakobe Dean, and that looks pretty serious. So I don't think we're going to see Nakobe Dean for the rest of the playoffs. but Green Bay really, really got hampered. Even poor Josh Myers got hurt with 3 minutes left in the season. Game was over, looked like a pretty significant injury, and he gets carted off. Green Bay had a lot of injuries, and that impacted them. But you got to give the Eagles defense credit, man. You really do.
Absolutely. John, let me
3 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, that defense was absolutely insane how well they played there. There's no question about it. Moving forward here, though, I mean, Vic Fangio, the loss I'm not a doctor and I don't want to play one. I don't know. I know people were saying that he walked out of the locker room. He had a cast on his knee, had a soft cast on his knee, and he also had crutches. So, John, the impact that if he's not in that middle of that lineup, Oren Burks was up and down in that ball game a little bit. There was a little bit more movement in the run game that you saw even without those guys. Even when the Packers lost their center, they started getting a little more movement in the middle of that line. How much do you think that impacts the run defense and even the pass defense? Because Aaron Jones catches the ball and attacks tight ends. And if you've got the Bucs, Bucky Irving gets the ball also in in the passing game. How does that affect it?
Yeah, I think pretty significantly. Nakobe's having a great season, and I think Oren Burks is a good third linebacker, but I think Oren Burks is a good third linebacker. I don't think you want him starting. And you saw some of those, you talked about Josh Jacobs did not get going running the football early at all. Was pretty poor in the first half. His longest run was 5 yards until that big. He had a 7-yard run. Then he had the big run that got him down to the half-yard line. But he kind of struggled early in the game. And then when Nakobe went out, it was more in the passing game. They'd run him on these little option routes, and he would have his way. And he's not, as you mentioned, he's not Bucky Irving in the passing game. He's not Aaron Jones in the passing game. So, yeah, I think that could be a pretty significant issue for the Eagles defense. But, you got to move forward. Oren Burks has made some plays. He set the tone tonight, as I said, on the opening kickoff. He's a physical player. He's a veteran player. He's played in big games. He played in the Super Bowl when Dre Greenlaw got hurt. Didn't play well, but he played in the Super Bowl. Could be worse than having him as your backup linebacker, but he's not Nakobe Dean. So that's kind of where that stands.
Johnny Mac, coming into these playoffs, we listed about 5 teams, maybe even less, that we thought were legitimate Super Bowl contenders, and the Eagles were amongst those teams. Did the way they played today, did the quarterback performance today, did that change anything for you? Because, I watched the Bills today. We haven't obviously seen the other teams yet play in the NFC. The one game's on right now. I don't think we can keep up with the Lions or the Chiefs or some of these teams in the NFL if we don't get a better passing game. Am I wrong to think that? Has today's performance changed anything for you in regards to what you think this team can accomplish this season?
No, I think they're one of the 4 or 5 teams that can win a Super Bowl, but do I think they're the favorite amongst the 4 or 5? No. But so nothing much has changed other than, watching Baltimore play. If they play like they played against Pittsburgh, nobody's beaten Baltimore, but I've already seen the Eagles shut down Baltimore. So if you look at it from that perspective, or at least shut them down to a point where they can win a football game. Detroit, I have said pretty consistently that, they're the best team in football. And if they bring their A game, they're probably going to win. So to me, they're still the favorites. Kansas City's got the cheat code. We all know that. If you give them the ball, Patrick Mahomes the ball with, time left on the clock and a chance to win the game, he's probably going to go win the game. So I wouldn't call them the favorite, but, I think there's some positives to this in that they didn't play well offensively. And I never got the feeling they were in any danger. any danger in this game.
But didn't that have a lot
sometimes
to
you
do
get a
with the
feel when
Packers
you're at the
sucking,
games. You're like,
John?
all right, here comes. Well, yeah, but who made them suck? I think that defense is a big part of making. Like, they completely shut down Josh Jacobs, completely shut him down. And that's the whole basis, the whole foundation of the Packers offense, which, as you know, Zander, I disagree with. But that's it. That's how they built this offense. That's how they were playing. And he's had a phenomenal season. And they completely shut him down in the first half of this game, to the point, as I said, he was averaging 2.5 yards per carry. His longest carry in the first half was 5 yards. This is one of the best running backs in football. They completely shut him down. So, yeah, did the Packers play poorly? Yes. I think Matt LaFleur is not the golden boy he's projected to be by many. Yes. Did they play well? Yeah. No, obviously. Did they suffer a bunch of injuries? Yes. But the Eagles shut them down before all of that.
Hey, John, let me throw this at you here. And Green Bay is the third best team in that NFC North, by the way. I mean, so going into this ball game here, we were both, and I think everybody as a collective threesome here, we were all like, the talent level for Philadelphia should win this ball game here. And I mean, like I said, that's the third best team in the North. And what Minnesota and Detroit has done this season with their year and all the wins that they have had. I got to tell you one more time here, John. Boy, I'll tell you, Vic Fangio, the thing that sticks out the most is his feel for the game that he has on situational play calling when it comes to blitzing, when it comes to bringing pressure, not bringing pressure, when it comes to fronts, when it comes to – you know why I thought that interception was so wide open? I told Zander this, and John, I think you know this already. The post-snap adjustments that those players have been instilled, I saw so much post-snap moving to the coverage that he had made to make it more difficult. Jordan Love didn't even see Zack Bon sitting in the middle there. He was wide open. Brady goes, that's a post-snap movement that the coordinator has instilled in that. Do you realize the communication you have to have across the board in the secondary to make a play like that? John, I tell you, he's been exceptional this year. I knew Vic Fangio's reputation, but I hadn't seen it. And boy, I'll tell you, he's everything people have said. I can't believe how good he is. And he doesn't have a Super Bowl win yet. And he may get it this year as a coordinator because he's been impressive all year long.
Yeah, I've been talking about it all year. The communication on the back seven is what really stands out, especially with the younger players. Quinyon Mitchell-Bonnie gets his first pick, so congratulations to Quinyon at the end of the game. Cooper DeJean. One guy I should have mentioned earlier in the show is Nolan Smith. What a game Nolan Smith had. And they gave him more on his plate because I mentioned on the pregame show, I mentioned it was a big, and Nick finally talked about it because the game is over. It was a big point of emphasis to stop Keyshawn Nixon and kickoff coverage to the point where they put Nolan Smith on kickoff coverage because he's one of the best block disruptors. They call it block destruction players on the team. And they wanted to make sure they limited the space of Keyshawn Nixon to work. So he did that. He was great setting the edge. And they were chipping, if you noticed, they were chipping Josh Sweat. So they were daring Nolan Smith to beat him. And he did. And where we've come with Nolan Smith from people talking about him being a bust, and now all of a sudden he's a big difference maker on this team to the point where, Bryce Huff has hardly even noticed him. Who cares? Because Nolan Smith has turned into what they wanted Bryce Huff to be.
How about this too, John? I mean, that was a Hassan Reddick type of performance. I mean, he had impact. He was making TFLs. He was making pressures and he made sacks. I mean, he had an impact football game. That's, in my opinion, that's probably the best game with the high pressure situation that it was, that's the best moment he's had as a football player for the Philadelphia Eagles, is playing in that wild card game with the stakes and how high the stakes were. That's his best performance.
And Zack Bon as well, as you brought up, Dan. I'm interested to go back now and watch what Brady said about that play, because Jordan Love didn't even see him coming from the back door, so to speak. And just, Johnny on the spot to make that interception. That I don't know if people noticed, but when Quinyon Mitchell made that interception at the end of the game, and it was a desperation throw, they needed to score quickly, get a onside kick and score again. So they were taking a shot that they're probably typically not going to take. But I don't know if people noticed, the guy carrying the receiver all the way down the field into the end zone was Zack Bon, along with the double team of Quinyon Mitchell. Zack Bon is, you don't see this. You don't see somebody go from, this guy's a special teamer, this guy's going to be a backup edge rusher, and he's the best off-ball linebacker in football.
John,
I can't think of another example of that.
John, I couldn't believe how deep he was in coverage, and I watched him getting – the only guy, I can think of that, it's kind of Derek Brookish, where you're getting back that far in coverage.
Yeah, that's the guy who carries – that's the guy, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the guy you think of carrying receivers down the field.
Yeah.
Johnny Mac, I got a question.
Doesn't happen often, and
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, John.
It doesn't happen often, is what I was saying when you talk about linebackers and coverage and what Zack Bon's been able to do. But the fact that he's been able to do it at a consistent level. Think about it. He's had 2 interceptions this year. Week 1 against Green Bay, wild card round against Green Bay. From week 1 to right now, he's been the best linebacker in football.
Yep.
John, we got a great question here from one of our great viewers, T-Bone. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. He says, please ask J-Mac, I'm begging you to ask Hurts, Moore, and the head coach why they refuse to throw to wide receivers, tight ends in the 5 to 10 yard range. They're open. Holding ball for the deep pass is making the whole offense look bad. And, John, we have talked about how this offense is infatuated with chunk plays. That's one of their philosophies, right? Get the chunk plays, get the explosive plays. Do you think they're leaving opportunities out there, John? What's your response to T-Bone?
Well, look, I think, if you go back to week 5, which is, they've gotten a little bit too cautious when it comes to ball security. And it's always a tightrope because, you want to take shots, but you want to protect the football. And as I said, they protected the football today, didn't turn it over. Green Bay turned it over 4 times, so you're going to win that type of game. So, again, when we talk about, yes, they need to I talk about it all the time. He needs to get the football out of his hands quicker. He needs to trust what he sees more often. Or maybe the better way I should phrase it is you want that to happen. We're running out of hurdles is what I kind of talked about. They keep winning games, so maybe it's uglier than people want, but if it ends with a Super Bowl, I don't think people are going to care. But I will say, over the past number of weeks, he hasn't thrown many balls down the field either.
No.
So this mentality of his last 8 starts, the number is he's attempted 8 passes that have traveled 20-plus yards in the air. That's it. So they're not pressing it. They're not getting the football out of his hands. They're just clunky and relying on the occasional big play like they got from Dallas Goedert. That was a phenomenal catch and run. And Nick Sirianni, mentioned that Jalen checked to that. So that's a positive. But this mentality, they used to be that way. But they're not throwing the football down the field. They threw the football. One was there. That was a ton. They used to do that, but they've really scaled back on that as well.
Johnny Mac, good stuff, man. Your final thoughts on the game. We're losing your connection just a little bit, but your final thoughts on the game, and then we'll talk to you on Birds 365 in the morning, brother.
Well, you win and you move on. And it's not the prettiest. And as I said, Nick Sirianni was pretty honest. If you see the press conference, you see his transcript later, he's pretty honest that, the offense wasn't great, but the hurdles are starting to lessen you can see the finish line. And bottom line, who are they going to play next week? It's going to be either Tampa Bay here coming into 30 degrees or whatever it's going to be. It's going to be Minnesota, a dome team, or it's going to be the LA Rams, another, hot weather team. It's hard to imagine any of those three teams beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Then you're on to the NFC Championship game. Now, hey, if Detroit is there, that's going to be a tough out. But the hurdles are lessening, friends, and maybe it's ugly, but as long as you win, as long as you check the box, you get to move on.
Johnny Mac, good stuff, brother. We will talk to you on Birds 365 in the morning. I'm looking forward to it, my man. We'll have
War and Peace, John. Try it. War and Peace.
Yeah. Jim Murphy, look him up. Brings it to every game. Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. That's the book.
That's what we'll
Not
be
making it up.
Trying to achieve this week. John, thanks for joining, brother. We'll talk to you in the morning.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, John.
Mac. There's Johnny Mac joining us here on a JAKIB Postgame Show. Big Sills.
Yo.
I am nothing. Oh, God. What's he putting up? Oh, no, your green screen's cutting it out. Your green screen's cutting it.
Hurts
what?
Throw. Hurts can't throw.
Oh,
Hurts
is that what you've been doodling?
Throw.
That's what Sileo has been doodling this whole show. He's just been making a doodle of Hurts. I mean, this
Hurts
is a grade school.
Throw. Hurts can't throw.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Sills, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't feel great about this team in terms of going to the Super Bowl.
Let's see if they do that 2 games in a row, okay?
I got a lot of super chats to read. Holy mackerel. I will get to every super chat. We're going to be here a minute. I'm going to be here a minute.
I'm moaning. I'd moan too if I saw a D+ effort from my quarterback heading in. No, listen, John said the most important thing, advance and move on. Advance and move on. In spite of him, advance and move on. Hey, man, it's funny, man. When I watch Lamar and I watch Josh and I watch these superstar quarterbacks, hey, how about Jaden Daniels right now? Jaden Daniels is carrying that Washington team right now. Okay, and don't forget, before you start saying the Bucs, they beat the shit out of you. So the Bucs also beat the Lions this year in Detroit. So, I mean, Jaden Daniels is putting up an all-out dual threat effort today versus the Buccaneers. How you doing? On the road.
All right. I want you to do one thing, all right, before I let you go here. All right. I want you to do one thing for me.
Sure, Zander.
I want you to do your very best to turn off Big Sills, the instigator, the heel, the troll, whatever word you want to call it, just for a second. All right. Turn it off and give me your final thoughts on this game. Look, you do get a playoff win. Playoff wins are hard to come by, right? You did get the win today. Your final thoughts, Big Sills, on this team, their potential here in the next couple of weeks, and moving on today.
If I was the coach of the Eagles and I walked into the locker room, I'd say this. Hey, men, we got away with it, okay? We didn't play our A+ effort, and that shows you. You know what it also does? I think it creates a sense of urgency for your players that they know they have to step up to another level as these levels go each and every single week, because now you're going into the divisional round. You're going against hotter teams. Nobody on the planet ever thought Green Bay was a Super Bowl contending team. Nobody thought that. They thought that they were a playoff football team They got in, and they were a playoff team. Nobody thought they're the third best team in the NFC North. Let us take this game. We get the win. We advance. We move on. But we got things to clean up this week. Depending on who our – hey, by the way, you know what I would also say? I don't give a fuck who our opponent is. Yeah, I don't give a shit who it is. Our opponent is us. That's what – you know what? I saw somebody make a post in here, which was right. You know who beat the Packers today? Jordan Love. Wasn't the Eagles. Jordan Love beat the Packers today. Okay? I do believe that the Eagle defense, obviously, in the run game.
They were good, but you're not wrong. I tweeted out during the game, we're going to win the game because the Green Bay Packers absolutely suck. They did. They were not good today, dude. The Packers stunk today.
Oh, they did.
All right, big sells.
Well, but how do they stay in it? Oh, by the way, come Monday. Now, listen, I'm going to do a PSA here for the National Football Show on Monday from 2 to 6. We're going to have Angelo Cataldi on also at 3:30.
Awesome.
This show, some of you in here shouldn't tune in. I'm telling you right now, don't tune in because I don't want your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to get their butt hurt because it ain't going to be kind to your quarterback. Okay? Now, you win and move on. Other than that, I think there were a lot of positives. But hey, some of you might want to sit 2 to 6 out because I'm just giving you a PSA. I rarely tell people don't tune in, but I'm telling you and imploring you, don't do it because some of you are going to be a little bit hurt come Monday.
I don't think there's any better promotion for a Big Sill show than to say, whatever you do from 2 to 6 tomorrow, do not let it be watching the Big Sill show because you will leave upset. All right, Big Sills. Great stuff as always, man. We appreciate you today on the post-game show. Look, we're moving on, my brother. I'll talk to you in the morning. 2 to 6 tomorrow, man. Everybody's going to be jacked up for the show. We appreciate it, brother.
We'll see you at 3:30. Actually, we're going to see Zander at 5:30 or 5 o'clock, top of the 5 o'clock hour, because we'll get Gary and we'll have Angela. We'll have a packed show, and we're going to be working on Bruce Arians. If it is the Bucs, and if it's not the Bucs, we'll get Joe Theismann on next week to talk Commanders and Eagles. So thank you guys so much. Hit that like button. Zander, I'll see you tomorrow, my friend.
Big Sales, great stuff, man. See you tomorrow. There's Big Sales here on the JAKIB Postgame Show after a big playoff win. Everybody, I want to thank everybody for being here. I got a lot of super chats to get to. All right, don't worry, I didn't leave you out. I see somebody's already crying. Look at this guy. Of course, I didn't respond to my comment. Evan, grow up a little bit, my guy. Come on, you sound like a little wimp. All right. I mean, holy moly. I got 80 super chats here I got to read. And this guy's crying. Come on, Evan. Cheer up, right? Your team just won a playoff game, Evan. Let's read Evan's comment before he cries up a storm. Evan says, Hurts came off a bad concussion and couldn't watch film for 2 weeks. Shameful you overlooked that. He'll get better. I know it's so shameful to expect your $50 million quarterback to have a more than 130 passing yards in a playoff game. I know, Evan. It is shameful. Evan, you might want to find a new show. Romeo checks in. Here's the core problem outside of Hurts. We don't have a clever offensive scheme that targets the weaknesses of our opponents. Instead, we try to out-talent everyone. And this is where Hurts' inconsistencies will hurt us. I think that's a good take, but I think some of the deficiencies are because of what the quarterback can and cannot do. I don't know for sure, but it's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. I'm going to have to, here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to get to a commercial break at some point because I do have some production I have to do on the back end. You guys know I produce as well as do the shows. And then I will come back. I'll do super chats and we'll bring you guys on, man. It's the post-game show. So, Evan, if you're mad that we didn't read your comment or if you're mad that I didn't bring up the concussion enough, come on the show. The floor will be yours to tell the people why your line of thinking is correct. Okay, Evan? Cheer up, Buttercup. Cheer up, Buttercup. It's okay, big guy. It's okay. I'll read a few more supers here. Nosti Beats. Which player on the Eagles offense is the single biggest liability? I hope it's not the one that signed a $250 million contract. Boy, is that funny. Nosti Beats. That is one of those comments that hurts almost. All right. That hurts a little bit. Brody Z. I like Brody Z because he's got a Z in the name. I'm Big Z. You're Brody Z. I like it, Brody. He says Hurts will not win us the Super Bowl. He's been subpar. Brody, look, if he does what he did today, then I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And there's no excuses. Evan crying about thinking, Evan, it's playoff football, Evan. I mean, seriously, how many excuses are you going to make, dude? If it's not that thing now, it'll be another thing the next week. If it's not that thing the next week, it'll be a new thing. I mean, we keep moving the goalpost. If we don't win a Super Bowl this year, you're damn right I'm going to be Sills Jr. for crying out loud. This offense, this team, this roster is way too stacked, way too good. You have the best running back in the NFL, the best offensive line in the NFL. We have way too much at stake for you to sit here and explain to me why I should be perfectly okay with a less than pedestrian performance from the guy who touches the ball in every single play. If you think that's all right, then cool. Go root for the Panthers or the Raiders or one of these other shitty teams. All right? I mean, good night. Brian Pumper, my guy, checks in. Hey, Jalenites, I don't give it. We already read that, Pump. Come on, Pump. Here we go. Romeo again. Romeo, thanks for all the support, my guy. I appreciate it. I watched that game and knew what I knew what I knew at the beginning of the season. We will live and die as Jalen Hurts hits highs and lows. Can't blame Nick, but yeah, that sucks too. You said that twice, didn't you? You did. Thank you, bro. I appreciate your support, man. I always get to all the super chats before I get out of here, man. I never let any super chat go unread, all right? Never let any super chat go unread. Nosty Beats, we can be honest here. This quarterback signed a $250 million contract. You don't sign a QB for that money to give you 150 yards a game. With the weapons this team has, he should be judged based upon that contract. Nosty, and you put another thing he should be judged on in the comment. He's not throwing to Mac Hollins like Josh Allen is. You wouldn't accept 150 yards a game from somebody with way lesser talent. What are you going to do? We have $60 million in receivers, for crying out loud. West Philly is now going to tell me how to live my life because he doesn't agree with my football takes. I love it. I love people like this. Don't go to the parade. West Philly, I will make sure I listen to you. Okay? Thank you, West Philly, for the life advice. Alex Petrosky, keep the main thing the main thing. Yes, sir. You're not wrong. I know it's funny, but you're not wrong. You won the game and you're moving on. How do we get better for next week? Eagles all day. I'm glad we can live another round. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. We got another one of these things. All right. We got another one of these things. Romeo Talone. Romeo, thanks for all your support today, bro. I actually didn't want us to go this far. We need more stars to compensate for Jalen, and that's a sad truth because the three guys are more than good enough with that number one defense and O-line. Romeo, there's not a spot on offense you could improve. Romeo, I mean that. There's not a spot on – if you gave me the number one overall pick in the NFL draft, there's not a spot on the offense you could improve. You couldn't improve wide receiver 1. You have a top 3 receiver in the NFL, and I think a top 2. You couldn't improve wide receiver 2. He's a top 10 guy, top 11, top 12, somewhere in there in the NFL, and he's your number 2. You couldn't improve tight end. You saw what he's able to do if he gets the ball a little bit more. I know he's hurt a lot. You can't improve the offensive line, the $100 million offensive line. They're the best in the NFL. I mean, I don't know what more we can do to make this work for Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. I just don't know what more we can do. MC, Baker versus Jalen. Who you win with in the playoffs? I take Jalen all day, all night, and forever. That's good. I like that, MC. He has won some big playoff games, no doubt. Big J, how fast haters forget. Jalen hasn't played in almost a month from a concussion and still passed for 2 touchdowns in the playoffs. Relax. Next week gets better. Besides, defense wins games. Big J, are you really going to sit here and tell me that those 2 touchdown passes from Jalen Hurts were a credit to how good Jalen Hurts is as a player? I mean, I'm not taking away from him. It's great that he made the throws, but I mean, really, Big J? He had the longest time to throw recorded in the entire NFL season today at 6.75 seconds to make that touchdown throw. Do you believe that's the quarterback, or are you going to give credit to the offensive line who perfectly pass blocked for 7 seconds? I mean, you heard Brady say it on the broadcast. That's 3 throws for me. 7 seconds. 3 throws. Jalen had that in 1. And then he throws a shitty pass to Dallas Goedert in the flat. Dallas has to go all the way back here to get it. And then he stiff arms a dude and makes him his little bitch and gets to the end zone. Again, I'm not taking it away from Jalen, but like, don't sit here and use that as some metric as to why Jalen Hurts' game today should be off the table from criticism. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Thank you for the super chat. Joseph Brunell checks in. Jalen played like a mop bucket. The only reason we won the game are the defense. Give me Tanner McKee. I'm not ready to go to McKee yet. All right. MC says Zack Bon is intelligent and athletic. Sign him top dollar. Agreed, MC. I agree. That guy's earned his paycheck. Polska Trucker, my guy, checks in. That performance was horrible by Jalen Hurts. I could see the rust in not being in there for 3 weeks. Passing game has to be fixed or we won't make it further in the playoffs. Sills, you're not going insane with your takes. He's not going insane at all. Again, I put a comment in the chat. Some people just want to be told like how great they are all day. Like, do you want me to seriously come up here and lie to you and believe my own lies because you guys are mad that I don't have the same football opinions as you? Come on, man. Go find a new show. I don't give a shit. Ramir, my only question for y'all is, was Hurts rusty or y'all think he was trash all week because it was him? It was him. It was out 3 weeks and could look like this. I mean, Ramir, I think it's a little bit of both. We're in the playoffs, man. This is not a time to make excuses. The quarterback is the leader of the offense. He's got to be great if we want to go to a Super Bowl and win one. That's the truth. All right. That's the truth. Jamie Rios, thank you for the $5, man. I appreciate it. No comment there, but I appreciate the $5. Matt NG, Sills, the org isn't going to come out and say our QB1 is rusty. Yeah, but Matt, to your, you're right. You're right. I mean, they're not going to come out and say that, but they acted like it was no. Eric says, Hurts is going to get more hate and not having a turnover than Herbert throwing 4 picks and losing. We will get better. How you doing, Big Sills? You're probably right that Hurts will get more hate than Herbert, which I agree is wrong. Sileo already tried to sell me on Herbert on the show, and I kind of shot him down. I'm like, I'm not ready to talk about Justin Herbert right now. But, yeah, 4 picks. I mean, guy's a pancake. Guy's a turnover machine. Guy's flipping a pancake on a skillet. He's out here. He's a diner, Justin Herbert. Drop the pancake on the stove and flip it over. I love these super chats, so a lot of good takes. Not all takes I agree with, but I appreciate the commentary. I appreciate the difference in opinion. MC, Big Sales, I love your – oh, I already read that. Big MC, that was a funny chat. Doug, does Hurts do just do enough to win? Yeah, that's what he does. That's what we got, Doug. And that's what people tell me. I'm insane for not wanting to accept that. James, 23.87 gaming. How we should trade for J.J. McCarthy if Hurts doesn't turn around these playoffs. I'm now convinced, Sills. That's a little too far. I'm not a big believer in that guy either. We'll see what he can do, though. Youngster. I like him. Khaled, Eagles need to do a Rams and Detroit-like trade and trade Hurts for Herbert. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that postseason performance, but he can definitely pass the ball. All right, let me get to Philly Don, and then I'll get to a break. Philly Don says, my guy, Philly Don, you also have to take into consideration that the pass protection sucked after Green Bay made adjustments, and the receivers weren't getting open either. Yeah, I mean, Philly Don, you know I love you, brother, right? You're not going to sit here and tell me that performance in the passing game is on the offensive line. You're not going to do that, right, Philly Don? Am I reading this wrong, Philly Don? Come on, man. I'm not blaming the offensive line for a hot second on that. All right? Not for a hot second. All right, let me take a commercial break, all right? When we come back, I'm going to bring some of you guys on. I'll read off a couple more super chats. I'll get your takes. If you're mad at me or disagree with me about Jalen Hurts, about the Eagles, about the Super Bowl, come on. Come on in. The water is fine. Come on in. All right? Even the haters, come on in. I'm ready to talk about it all right? Underdog, you come on in here. No Limit, you better be in. Bob Brown, I know you're waiting. Joe Whip, Akbar, where are all you guys? Anton, my optimistic Aussie. We'll see what he has to say. All right? We'll see. Oh, No Limit. I love this. No Limit. Drop that link, Zander. I'm going to cook you today. No Limit. You ain't cooking shit. The only thing you're cooking today is maybe one of those turnover pancakes. All right, No Limit. You ain't cooking shit, my guy. Unless you're a chef in a kitchen somewhere and you're whipping up burgers or wings for somebody in a bar right now, you ain't cooking nothing, No Limit. Don't hit me with that. Amber, what are you crying about? Come on in. I think you didn't like me. Come on. I don't know what you mean. Anton, look at that. My guy. Anton, looking forward to talking to you, brother. Always am. He says, you'll be surprised, Big Z. I wasn't happy. Yeah, Anton, not great. I mean, I'm happy that you're rational. Look, it's very easy to look at this game and say, great, we're moving on. We're still alive, right? Awesome. This is not a team that wants that wants playoff wins. This is a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, expectations. Again, not from us, not from me, not from Sills, not from John, not from Brian Pumper or Amber or Matt Ing or Philly Don. All right? From the owner. The owner has Super Bowl expectations. I don't view that as a game that the Eagles could play to make it to the Super Bowl. I don't think you'd beat the Lions with that type of performance. In fact, I think you'd struggle with the Bucs, who are not having a very good game right now. And if the Bucs lose, then we could see potentially, would we see the Vikings? Is that possible? That you'd see the Vikings? I'd have to go and do the playoff bracket and see. Oh, Philly Don, I'm sorry. I'll get your other one. I'll get it. Philly Don, you're not going to make me blame the O-line, though. All right. Let me get to this commercial break. I'll be back in 3 minutes, everybody, and we'll go to the post-game show. No Limit. It's going to be cooked on the stove on the post-game show. Coming up next. Stay tuned, everybody.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, we got this.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
8 Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show. We're now officially in post-postgame territory here on the show. Looking forward to talking to some of you guys. Looking forward to recapping this game some more, man. I want to get some different opinions, see what you guys think of the game. Are more of you in my boat where you're excited to move on, but you're a little bit concerned that this team is not built to go to a Super Bowl? Do you feel like it's all good and everything is sunshine and rainbows in Eagle Land and you're just excited to get a win and ready to see the next game? Maybe it's that. I'm excited to hear from you guys and see what you guys have to say about some of that. So I'm going to bring some of you guys up shortly. I will read just a few more super chats. All right. Let's go. Question here from Fly Parks. Is Bryce Huff still on the team? I don't know. Fly Parks. I think they showed him over there on the sideline one time. I think I could see him. This is my kind of guy here. Dave's Sports Quest. Big C, we might disagree with some things, but I love the show. Thank you, brother. Thank you for watching. You know, Dave, I don't know about you, but I don't expect to agree with everybody on everything. Like, I assume that I will have disagreements with every single person on the planet. Okay. That's what I assume. It does not make me hate somebody or whatever it is. I don't know. Some of these people get their panties in a bunch. All right. I got to manage the super chats a little bit. All right. Caleb says, Man on the Mountain will be on. Let's go. Brian Pumper. Xander, you think Hurts can channel his inner excellence? Asking for my friend Arthur Wan. I think he has the processing of a Tamagotchi. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, what was up with that? AJ reading over there, man, on the sideline. What'd you guys make of that? Were you guys all good with that? I mean, I was cool with it. I don't really care, but I thought it was an interesting move. I mean, in a playoff game, you do that. It really shows some of the diva elements. You know, and the one thing I'll say is I used to tell Sills I thought he was wrong, all right, about AJ being a diva, and I still kind of think he's wrong. But, boy, Sileo's a diva himself. Sometimes you got to listen. When a diva tells you he sees a diva, maybe listen to the diva because they know. Look at Luis. AJ has read that book before in past games. Oh, has he, Luis? Oh, has he? In the middle of a playoff game? Really, Luis? It was not a Bible race. All right, let's do it. I'm dropping the link now, so I'm looking forward to talking to the great people of JAKIB Nation. Here comes the link. Luis, if you want to chirp, come on the show. All right? I can't wait to talk to some of you fools that come on here. All right. Wait, what do you guys think of the new set, by the way? What do you think of the new set? This was my Saturday. You know, I painted the wall. We don't hire painters around here. Big Z put on his work boots and went to work. Did the office up. I got a little temp set up right now, but I told you guys on the pregame show, if you weren't there, you see that sign up there, the Zander Krause show? That was my podcast from like 2019, 2020, when I was manifesting where we are today. With the great audience of people, you know, doing shows with the great people. That's a little manifestation. That's like a lovely part of my history right there. All right. All right. Oh, man, I got a lot of people checking in today. All right. Let's go to a couple here. Members are prioritized. All right. Who is a legend member? Bob. Bob, coming to you first, my guy. You ready to rumble? Let's do it. Here comes Bob Brown joining me on the post-game show. What's going on, Bob Brown? How you doing, brother?
We won a game we were supposed to win. That'll be enough of the good stuff.
All right.
Right off the bat. We were supposed to win that game. We didn't deserve to win that game. Our defense played great. Our offense is inept. And if anybody watching this right now didn't think that Hurts was going to be rusty, you're out of your mind. The coaches knew he was going to be rusty, and they didn't come out and accept the identity of this team. If I ask any Eagles fan, what is the identity of this team? We run the ball. We don't utilize our talent to its fullest. We did one of those tonight. We didn't do the other like we should have in the first half. Okay, that's just a fact. We just barely won the time of possession, and it took that big drive at the end of the game for us to get that. There's no way, the way that the Packers played on our home field, knowing that our quarterback was going to be rusty, that we should have run the offensive scheme, trying to throw the ball the way that we did. Now, T-Bone spent money on his super chat, and John didn't do him the courtesy of answering it. So let me answer it. The scheme that these knuckleheads run is vertical, which requires Hurts to drop back and read the safety. He has to do something he's not comfortable. 5 and 10 yards, they should be going horizontal, which is where the slants come in. Don't ask me what that's on the other side of the milk carton where Huff is, right? So on one side, it's got Huff's face. On the other side, it's where the slant go because it's
got the slant route. Yes.
And before I get too far, let me just stop. I have 5 kids. My oldest daughter, hey, Evan, she's 23. She says cranberry juice and Midol help with the cramps because you're clearly having a very bad week. That was ridiculous. How dare you not about the concussion? That's crazy. If we can't be honest in here about the fact that our team played like crap offensively, that's why it doesn't get better. The scheme that was set up and that they ran with Hurts today was the scheme they wanted to run, not the scheme they should have run to put Hurts in a position to win. At this stage, I don't care about his $50 million because I'm not paying the $50 million. I need the guy to produce.
Yeah, well, that's what comes with it. It's never about the money. I don't care about the money, but you need the guy to produce, Bob. We want Super Bowls, dude.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I agree. But I've said it to you before. This team has to get through Detroit, and we haven't shown that we can get through Detroit. And I said it to Flex in a tweet. There are some teams that live by the motto of, I'm going to take what the defense gives me. Okay, there's some wisdom in that. There's winning teams that say, I'm going to go in and impose my will, and I'm going to beat you into submission. This team has an offensive line to do that. It has a running back to do that. It has a fan base that expects it. Our defense gives us the ball back, and we don't have it in us to impose our will on a team that Green Bay is not as bad as they showed tonight, but we had every opportunity to put our foot on their throat and not let them off the mat after Oren Burks took the top off the bottle in the very first play.
Yeah.
And we let them off the mat. That's ridiculous that we did that. It makes no sense. Now, we're going to play Tampa. Tampa's got our number. We're going to play Washington. Washington's not afraid of us. They just beat us. It doesn't matter who the team we're playing is. They all can come in and beat us because we haven't instilled fear in any of them. Period. We haven't done that.
Ability to. I mean, I think you have the ability to, but they're not doing it. They're not playing up to their potential right now.
Okay, Zander, we 18-week season, and now we're in the first week of the playoffs. This is who this team is. And I'm not talking about the players. We have the players to do it. We don't have the staff on the offensive side of the ball that believes in that. They want to try to outsmart another team rather than beating them in the ground. And as Sileo's very good at what he does, and I take exception with some of his crap, but he makes a great comment about Fangio. In-game adjustments and feel for the game, Fangio excels at it. Moore does not. It's the difference between actually having an artist paint a picture and AI paint the picture. They may look the same, but there's a difference when somebody gets it and they did it themselves. Moore's like, I've got a playbook and we're on page 27 and this is the play to run. And Fangio looks and says, they're on page 27 and I know what he's going to do and I'm going to throw him a curveball and I'm going to punch him in the face.
Yeah, but isn't what you're saying a little bit two-sided in the fact that assuming that Kellen Moore should be better at that would come with an assumption that the quarterback would be suited to handle anything that Kellen Moore wanted to run. If Jalen Hurts is not capable of running what Kellen Moore wants to run, is that more on Kellen Moore or is it on Jalen Hurts?
Kellen Moore. And I'll tell you why. Was Jalen able to run Kellen Moore's offense in week 1? No. Was he able to run it in week 5? No. Was he able to run it week 10? No. He hasn't run Kellen Moore's offense all year. And
okay,
you and I are both.
Then we're fools, Bob, for wanting it to look like Kellen Moore's offense in week 19 now.
And again, the identity, and you and I have both given more credit. Until this game, he embraced a system that was working for Hurts. He put Hurts in a position or tried to put Hurts in a position where Hurts would be able to excel. Today, he said, everybody's going to run vertical. Not that he was trying to run 40-yard bombs, but once that guy gets outside of 15 yards, Jalen has to take the fourth step. He's got to watch the safeties. He has to read what's going on. He doesn't have that skill yet. Next year, he might. Year 2 in that system. I give him a lot of credit that the play to Dallas Goedert where it was a full zero blitz. Everybody was coming. I mean, my daughter who's 12 saw everybody's coming. Okay. He checked out of it. He ran the diagonal pattern. Dallas looked great. Okay. Hurts read that. I don't know that in the beginning of the year he could have read that, but he's getting better at the core things. But today they said, we're going to put the whole playbook in, and Hurts can't run the whole playbook. Not this year. That's a Kellen Moore issue because Jalen is not going to expect that on the first week of the playoffs, Jalen is going to wake up and go, holy crap, I had my Wheaties and I get it now. That's just fool's gold.
It's fool's gold. It's completely fool's gold.
We won a game we were supposed to win. We didn't win it in a fashion that we should have won it. And now any team looking at us is going to say, they've got weaknesses. And not that I want to beat a dead horse, but if we went out in the last week of the season against the Giants and we set that tone by getting that record, and we had a mental mindset that we just got the rushing record and we're going to take this guy, Barkley, and we're going to run you over. And oh, by the way, that's exactly what Baltimore did last night. They have a quarterback that throws better than our quarterback, and they said, we were running the ball and they couldn't stop it, so we're going to do what? Impose our will, to the point that Pittsburgh is actually asking to fire their coach. Not sure it's not deserved, but that guy deserves some confidence. Like, they want to fire him because Baltimore came in and literally put their right foot in his ass, and they couldn't do anything about it. And our team is better at that than Baltimore is. And we didn't do that. And that's not a Jalen issue. That's a Moore issue. And for John to sit here and go, oh, give me a break, everybody knows that Moore's calling the offense, that's a bunch of crap. Nick Sirianni is involved in that. Nick Sirianni helps set it, because if he doesn't, then why was he in his press conference going, there are some things we have to clean up? You should say, I have to talk to the offensive coordinator because I didn't like what I saw. Be honest about it.
All right, well, look at here. All right, No Limit says, Zander, Bob is cooking you. Bob, are you cooking me right now? I don't think you're cooking me. I think you're just explaining your thought process.
We are having an adult conversation like we were sitting in a bar, and I'm eating a burger because I have a miner's palate, and he's eating steak tartare because he fell off the main line. That's what we're doing.
Answer this question. Did Jalen Hurts stink today?
Yes.
Okay. No question. No more questions.
There's no doubt he stunk.
Bob, I appreciate you joining. Your final thought before I let you run, brother. Is this team heading to the Super Bowl or what?
We can't think about Super Bowl. We need to say we need to fix what we did wrong this week and hope that an offense doesn't come out and get a lead on us because we can't play from behind. The Super Bowl is a couple weeks away. We have to worry about the team in front of us. I'm not worried about the Super Bowl. We have to get to the NFC Championship game, and then we'll see what happens. And this team, as it sits here right now, doesn't have the stones to go into Detroit against a coach that will impose his will on us and like doing it to us.
Good stuff, Bob. Thank you for joining, brother. We'll see how this stuff plays out, man.
You got it. Have a great night. Thanks for everything.
Yep. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
There's Bob Brown joining me here on the Post-Postgame Show. Great stuff. All right, I got a lot of people to get to. All right. No Limit. I'm coming to you soon. All right, Big Cat. I see you smiling back there. I'm coming to Akbar next. Joe Whip, I'm coming to you after Akbar. If your camera comes on, do I not have your camera? You got to drop me in the chat if you're having an issue with that. And then I'm going to keep rolling through. All right, I come into Akbar right now. Here we go. Akbar, what's going on, my man? How you feeling, brother?
Yes, Joe. What's going on, Zan? How you be, homie?
Not much, man. Big playoff win today. We're moving on to the divisional. Do you feel good? Do you not feel good? Where's Akbar's brain and mind after a win like that in the playoffs, brother?
The offense, Jalen was really rusty this week. He was really rusty. I didn't think that it was going to be an issue with him being rusty, but evidently it really is. He was really rusty. Although he threw 2 touchdowns, he didn't turn the ball over. I mean, the offense looked like shit. I thought they should have went to Barkley a lot more than what they did.
Especially in the first half.
Especially in the first half. He could have had 100 yards in the first half. The offense had left a lot. They left a lot on the field. They didn't leave it all on the field. And then the book thing with AJ Brown, that was some diva shit, dog. Like,
that was 100% diva shit. Yeah, 100%.
I understand it though.
I do too.
I understand.
I'm with you on both accounts. Yes, sir.
Because think about that. That's like you being on the screen with no super chats. Like, he not getting the rock, man. He is not getting the rock. Like, and as good as he is, like, his stats showed that he's like a top 20 receiver this year. When in all actuality, he's a top, to me, the best. He's the best, but he's at least top 2 or 3 receivers easily right? So if he's not getting the ball and he's not shining the way we all know that he can shine, he's gonna be pulling out books. And I mean, he can't scream on if he got to get it out some kind of way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was some diva shit.
Defense, man. Let's go to the defense a little bit because I think the offense is pretty self-explanatory. Impressive, right?
Right. Yeah. The defense, Darius Slay. He really I like what he did today. I heard Seth Joyner talking one time. He was talking about how sometimes he gets handsy, and that's how he gets those penalties called on him. And what he was saying was, if he just trusts his technique and do what he's supposed to do, if he just turn his head around, he could get the ball right there. The ball will be right there. All you gotta do is turn his head around, and lo and behold, that shit happened today. That was a pretty ass interception he did, man.
Yo, how about that man? 34 years old, running stride for stride with that dude. I mean, that's no small feat, and he was stride for stride right there in the perfect position. It's a good call by you.
I thought that was awesome. And guess what else was awesome? Nolan Smith gonna be a problem next year, dog.
Yes, he is, man. He's a good player.
He gonna be a fucking problem. Did you see that first move on his first sack? That move he made
right around the edge, man. I mean,
he did like a Allen Iverson.
I know. It's almost. You know what it reminded me of, and I'm not comparing him to this player. It reminded me of Myles Garrett. Have you ever seen Myles Garrett do this at the line of scrimmage, where he fake dribbles? And it's almost like he's playing. That's what it reminded me of, Nolan Smith. I don't know if you've ever seen Myles Garrett do that, but Myles Garrett's famous for doing that.
Oh,
yeah, you got to look it up. Myles Garrett does that, yeah.
I'll check that out. But, yeah, Nolan Smith, man, he got 2 sacks today. I believe he had a tackle for a loss. He be swatting balls. The ball, he was on special teams. Like, he be getting it in. Now, I don't like Cooper DeJean in special teams. I hate it. I don't want him to get hurt. And he looks a little clumsy to me. Like when he's running the ball, he doesn't protect the ball well to me. I just would prefer a different player, like maybe what's the young boy, the backup running back?
Kenny Gainwell?
Yeah, I would rather see him on punt returns other than Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is too valuable on defense for him to be running the ball on special teams. I don't think that's a smart move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, did this game change for you, Akbar, how you see the potential of this team potentially, bringing a Super Bowl home to the city? Did watching this game change it? Has it not changed at all? Where are you on that topic? Because I think that's the expectation in the city, man. I think that's what that's what everybody's talking about this team like. That's what the owner expects. That's what we've come to believe this team is capable of. Have you swayed on that at all?
No, I'm still there. I still believe that we could bring it home. I'm hanging my hat on that Baltimore game. I heard Johnny Mack bring it up earlier. I'm hanging my hat on that game because Baltimore is just as good as anybody in the NFL. That's including Detroit, So we handled them handedly. We handled them handedly. Like,
yeah, no, we did. That was probably their worst game of the year, dude. That was Lamar's worst game of the year, I think.
And how about the game? The first game against Washington? Washington balling right now. Like this Washington Tampa Bay
down
game,
right now, I think 17-13. They're down, yeah.
They're getting it in, but before I missed the score because we was talking, but before Tampa Bay scored.
You're right. Bucks just took the lead. Like when you were probably in the green room, yeah.
And they hitting hard as shit. Like them Washington.
Yeah. Both.
How about Philly? Listen, dog. Blankenship is the fucking man. Did you see Blankenship put a head on that bull?
Yes.
I think he broke his arm. He knocked him out the game, and then he did it twice. He was smacking dudes on the field today. He did real good. N'Kobe Dean, that was fucked up. That he got hurt. It looks bad. I think he got some MCL type shit going on. You know, he's going for the season, but he had a hell of a ride, man. He was one of the main reasons why we got here. Zack Bon, all pro. Zack Bon is playing all pro type shit in the playoffs. Like it didn't lack off. He only getting better. He just got a pick. He had 2 picks, but they took one back because of a penalty. He's playing lights out, man. So
the question now is can the offense hold up? If they do get into a shootout type of match, if they get into another game where you give up touchdowns like you did to Washington a couple of weeks ago. Now, we didn't have Jalen Hurts in that game, but that's going to be the question for me. What can the offense do? Akbar, they're not getting enough out of their talent, but I got to run, brother. I got a lot of people to get to. Just your final thoughts, your closing thoughts. We're moving on to the divisional round.
I think that what you're saying is on point. I would like to argue with you because it'd be more fun, you know what I mean, entertaining. But I don't have no argument with what you're saying. I mean, the offense is not looking good. I mean, they did put up 22 points, and Saquon is unstoppable. I just feel like we still got a shot, mainly because of our defense and our running game, and that can win championships. We've seen it happen time and time again. I mean, Dallas Cowboys hung their hat on a running game and a great defense. So we right there. It's just we just don't need Jalen Hurts to fuck it up. That's it.
I agree. Akbar, thank you, brother. I'll talk to you next week, hopefully after another playoff win. All right, my man?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, brother. Good stuff there from my main man, Akbar, one of our great supporters here on JAKIB Nation. Appreciate talking to him as always. Appreciate talking to Bob Brown, who we talked to. Joe Whip, I know you're struggling. I don't know how to help you, my guy. I'm sorry. I don't. If you can, Joe, go in your settings. There's a setting button on StreamYard. You might be able to click that and see what you can do. Let's go to my man, No Limit. Coming up next, here he is. He's got the hood on. Dodge this smoke. What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
Look, it's my time. It's my time to cook you. All right, come on.
All right, it's your time. Wait, what'd you see today, man? You're gonna cook me. What do you want to cook me about?
All right, I'm not gonna come on here like I'm a Jalen night. I already know Jalen had a terrible game. Like that shit was hard to watch. I'm a Jalen night, but I like Tanner McKee, so I go both. You mean?
All right, so you're McKeister / Jalen night.
Look. I'm an Eagles fan. I don't care about all of that. Whoever helps us win.
I agree. Thank you. The name on the front is more important than the one on the back.
That's what I'm saying. But look, the biggest thing that I saw today is just Kellen Moore. Just like his play calling, like his play decision, it just didn't make any sense. Like, if you really go back and watch like the game tape from the day, right? There's a couple of key places and key moments where Kellen was just like calling like bad situational plays. Like, for one example was, I know this is like not really like in order, but after the pick from Darius Slay, instead of him taking a shot to one of the star receivers, he chooses to just like run the ball. And I understand you want to get the running game going, but like after a turnover, you have to take a shot. Like that's like something that you have to take shots. If it was Ben Johnson or somebody who's more creative, they're gonna try to at least take a deep down, like a deep field throw or something like that. But he doesn't do that.
Those turnovers enough at all.
We didn't do any of that. Another key third down, I think he tried to throw like a swing pass on the second drive of the game when we were driving.
Yes, you're correct. It was a swing and that flat with Devontae Smith.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That shit made no sense. So I was just watching. I'm over here like, I don't get what his philosophy is and what he's trying to do with Jalen Hurts. On top of that, you didn't see him scheme A.J. Brown open. We had like one A.J. Brown play, which was like that fake tush push. But besides that, what other plays did you actually see us try to scheme A.J. or even Devontae open or anybody?
They didn't even try. And Ecal or whatever his name is here. Let me get it. Luis brings up a good point. The field goal, when we kicked a field goal, and they brought the zero blitz.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Didn't give him nothing. Look, you're right about that. There's no doubt about it. And not having an AJ slant is just diabolical.
That's what I'm saying. At a point, he has to adjust to like, because defenses, it's no like, they're just gonna keep blitzing Jalen. They're not gonna do anything special.
Right, so do you feel like this team is capable of going to the Super Bowl, or is the offense not good enough? Where are you on it? Trying to be as objective as
defense. That defense today showed that they definitely could get to the Super Bowl. I don't know what they didn't show today. They were playing smackdown, like just hard-nosed football, and that's what you want from a championship type team. You mean our offense might not be really playing the way we want to play to, but like we still have the pieces and all the ingredients to get to where we want to get to. Now, will we be able to basically cook and make it all work? Only time will tell, but you can't act like we don't have what it takes to get there. We
certainly do defensively. We
that's what I'm saying. One game can't just change your opinion on where we can go. Like, I know we had a bad, shitty game today, but I still believe we can get where we want to as long as we do what we need to, which is execute. Today we didn't execute like we wanted to, but that's why next week is important.
There's no cooking going on, man. I agree with everything you're saying. Look, I believe we have it in us to be a Super Bowl team. We were not one today, and we got to be moving forward. That's fair to say. That's all fair to say. Brother, thank you for joining in, man. I appreciate talking to you as always. One of our great people in the chat. This is No Limit in the chat. If you don't know him, you'll know him in the chat now. No Limit. Thanks for joining, brother. I'll talk to you again next week.
No problem, bro.
Thank you, man. There he is. No Limit. I see Joe Whips back up with the camera. Joe, you ready to rumble, my guy? Here he comes. The great Joe Whip joining me now here on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Joe, you've been a fan of this team for a long time. What'd you see today in the playoff win, man? Everybody's jacked up. We're moving on. I wasn't too excited, and I got a lot of shit for it. What did you see in the playoff game today?
Well, I'm first of all, I'd like to apologize that I actually got my camera to work.
Nah, you look good, man. You got the full head of hair. I'm envious. I'm jealous.
So I agree with your assessment completely, Zander. This was not a Super Bowl performance by the offense. And I have a little bit of a different take than some of the other folks. I didn't think the offensive line played worth a shit today. They have to improve that.
Really?
I'm not sure. Yeah, they were not opening holes. I mean, I don't know what the hell.
That Packers defense deserves a little credit for that.
I know, but there was one play in particular where Juergens just let the guy come right up to shoot. I mean, he basically didn't even try to block the guy. I have issues with the offensive line hasn't played all that great the last few weeks.
All right, that's fine. But can I just give you?
Yeah.
How about the touchdown throw where Jalen Hurts had 7 seconds, which felt like 42 seconds to sit in the pocket and find an open receiver. If you look at the picture, Joe, they're like solo bodyguards out on islands blocking for him.
Right. That was the beginning of the game. The rest of the game, I don't think they played that well. I don't know what's going on with Jalen Hurts in the offense. I have to look at the All-22. I think a lot of it's Kellen Moore. I don't know what the hell he was doing. The spacing of the plays I thought was poor. The route trees are running. The other team seems to know where the receivers are going before they go. There's something wrong with the offensive scheme, and I can't blame it all on Hurts. I don't think Hurts played well at all, but there's something else going on here that I'm not smart enough to figure out without being able to see the All-22 and know what they were, what the plays were called for. But there's something going on with the offense, and it doesn't make any sense to me. The lack of slants for A.J. Brown, the lack of it just doesn't seem like a well put together offense.
Yeah, it almost defies just a level of common sense. Like, I know these play callers are supposed to be these great innovative play callers, but how about just dumbing it down to the simplest form? Like you just said, you don't have one slant to A.J. Brown in the call. You know what I mean? Like how? It doesn't make sense. You're not wrong.
The check down that was for the touchdown to Goddard. On some of the other blitz plays, the receivers are running down the field with the backs to the quarterback. There was no hot reads. Eventually, Hurts checked out of one to Goddard, and it worked. But some of the other blitzes, he wasn't doing that. I have no idea what they're trying to do. I'm flummoxed when it comes to that. The defense
confidence level that they turn it around on offense.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say a 3.
A 3. That's pretty low.
All
right, Joe. Any other final thoughts before I let you run, man? You think this team's heading to the Super Bowl? Where are you at? Final thoughts here.
Unless they fix the offense, I don't see how they can I don't know how you can play and win all these games with that kind of a poor offensive performance. They have to fix that. And I don't know. Maybe they need Tanner Brady in there and run a real NFL offense. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, Kellen certainly is better at that. He's proven that over the year. All right, Joe. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your patience, Zander.
You got it, man. I appreciate your persistence. Thank you, brother. There he is, Joe Webb. All right, there's one comment here. We're going to get to a couple more people. I got Riding the Bench, Clary Voice coming up, Anton, our optimistic Aussie. Love it. Jada Legend's in there. Abe is in here. O-line Guru's in here. I'm coming to you next, brother. All right, I'm going to get to all you guys. There's one comment I want to read, all right? And I take personal offense to it because I strive on trying to make this the opposite of what he's accusing of. Jimmy DeFoot, he says, this show will listen to no other opinions. Jimmy, please, for the life of me, join the show and give me your opinion. That is a bullshit take. I am here for every opinion. That's the purpose of JAKIB, is to not be an echo chamber, to allow Sileo to think one thing, for John to think another thing, for me to think another thing, and for all the guests, 10 to 15 to 20 of them a week that we bring on, they all have a different opinion. Jimmy, now, if you don't like the particular opinion you're hearing, that's fine. But to say that we don't listen to other opinions is flat out fucking bullshit, because the link is in the chat for you to join and give your opinion. So if you're too afraid to do it, that's fine. Just say that. But don't come in here with that dumb take. And like I said, I take offense to it. All right? I take offense to it. That crap. Get out of here, man. Get out of here with that. Or don't get out of here and join the show and give your opinion if it's so damn good. All right? Let's go to my guy, O-line Guru. Coming in next, Caleb Brandon joining me now here on the Post-Postgame Show. Got the mic set up, looking good, my brother. How you feeling after a playoff win today?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Birds win today, 22-10. But we're moving on. What are your takeaways, my man?
And I always just speak to this, and I'm gonna indulge just a little bit on it. And I think it's more so of a sports logic thing. And I grew up in a time, and Brady hints on it a little bit, where I just think attention to detail was bigger. But even with that being said, win is a win, and we need to focus more on the win. Like, we won. And I know we're focusing on a lot of things that can be better, which is true, but this is the playoffs. We are past the point of making correct. We are a week-to-week basis. We got a W this week. We're going to keep it pushing. We are a week-to-week basis, so we very well can get in the game and just completely change the game plan. With that being said, I don't think that we're putting enough value to how bad the calling was today, in my opinion, as well. I don't think the calling was that good today on offense side of the ball. More so to the pass game. I just feel like we need to come up with more elaborate schemes. He's always been a go route comeback guy. He's been like that since Dallas as well. That's just always been Kellen Moore, to be honest with you. This was the same critiques of him when he was at Dallas. I think that the run game is clearly fine. The run game is going to be the run game. But I do think that we have to realize Hurts is second in wins since he's been starting in 2020. That is a stat that we just have to hold value to.
It is. But remember, man, we do have a great roster. I'm not taking away from Jalen. I'm just saying
we do.
There are other factors there. You know that.
It is. That, right? I think the O-line is the biggest factor in my opinion, because you can name, because for like Cincy, they got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and had Joe Mixon. So we're not going to act like other quarterbacks or other great teams don't have a great 1 and 2. They absolutely certainly do have a great 1 and 2 and a very comparable running back. Saquon Barkley's on a different level right now, but plenty of teams have the talent. It's the O-line that's the big game changer for us. I will put that into that. The O-line's a big game changer for us, but I think we're fine.
You feel good about the offense if we got to go up again? Look, I hear what you're saying. I think what you're saying is actually right, because what's the NFL is a week-to-week league. It's been that, and so it'll always be that. And you're right. And every game's going to look different. They're going to have their own identity, their own things that happen in the game. But I'm not going to lie to you, man. All year we kind of been talking about this offense, but we've been winning. So it's kind of like one of those catch-22s where it's like, do we talk about it or do we keep winning? Do we keep rocking with what we're doing? And now I'm at a point where I know people don't want me to be scared. I don't like a matchup with us in the lines. I feel fine about the Bucs. I don't think the Bucs are going to be able to move the ball in our defense like the Lions would. I think the Lions will be the one team that can give our defense some trouble. And will our offense be able to keep up with it? That's my concern right now.
I certainly understand that. I can see how at Detroit is the biggest question mark. I would say I hope that Baltimore eases that a little bit for you, tad bit, just for the simple fact not only does Baltimore have a good offense, but I can make the argument that player for player, skill wise, they're better
They
than
are better.
Detroit.
They are
You
better.
can make the argument, and the quarterback is leaps and bounds better. Although Jared Goff is
Quarterbacks leaps
amazing.
and bounds better, but Caleb, they're so different. Like,
Yeah.
if you think about it, what's the one way to shred a Vic Fangio defense? It's a zone-heavy defense that
Yeah.
relies on communication and
And
being
timing,
sound.
and Jared Goff is good at that. Yeah.
That's the
And Jared Goff is good at that. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, right? I'm not saying he's going to do that. I'm just saying that's the one quarterback. Like, if they're willing to throw it in a tight window against the zone defense, that's the one quarterback I think that could move the ball on this defense. I really believe that.
I definitely do believe Detroit is the only. I mean, obviously Detroit is the question. I think we'll be fine next week. I think we get over Detroit and we'll be good there. I genuinely do believe that.
We'll see how it goes. All right, brother. Any other final thoughts before you run here? I appreciate you joining today as always. Oh, did I lose him?
No, I'm right here. I just want to say last thing, and I know I've been harping on it. Don't forget, I called it at halftime of the game, not at halftime, after the game, when everybody was saying, was it too early? I think we're fine. Winning is a quarterback stat. I know we're loaded, but just don't even think of it that way, because in several situations, we'll see where other people go to other situations and they don't win like that. The only person that has been successful everywhere he went just astronomically is Tom Brady. So just be happy for your organization. Wins is the wins. And for the ones that's dissing, this is what I say. I don't live in a
Oh, I
you
like
know?
that, bro. That's a nice
Yeah, man, they were trying to say, you feel me? They were trying to say, you feel me? They trying to say I was living in a box, man. They trying to say I was living in a box.
Talk that shit, all right, brother? Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Go Birds, and I'm telling you, we're fine. Detroit, we'll figure out an NFC championship. We'll figure out then. We'll see.
Talk about that when they come. Thank you, brother. Good stuff there, O-line guru. I like it. I like that little loft he had, right, with the high ceilings there. Good stuff there. Carl Timbers crying about the commentary. Carl, why don't you come on, man, and improve it, all right? Let's keep going here. I got Clary Boy next. Coming in. Here he comes. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
What's up, man? You rocking that Saquon Barkley jersey?
Oh, yeah, I am, man. Whew,
Look at that,
man. It's super nice,
dope,
dude.
Man. I love it. I love you rocking.
Yeah.
What'd you think today, man? What'd you think of the playoff game? We get the win and we move on. What'd you think?
I mean, it was exactly how they've been playing all year. I didn't see rust. I just saw Jalen Hurts. You know, we need one big game out of them. That's it. One big game, and that'd be the Super Bowl. We just got to win the way we win, run the ball. We just need him to show up for one game.
I would actually go as far as to say we need the big game to be the NFC title. That would be
I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think anyone can stop Saquon Barkley. Even
really?
today.
Seems pretty good, man.
Saquon would have had 180 today if he didn't slide.
Yeah, how about that? He slides like 3 yards short of getting 125.
Yeah.
But,
he slid, man. He would have gotten, because he still had like 60 yards to go. He would have been
all
gone.
right. So let's just say that we can run on the Lions. That's fine. I think we probably can too. Can we? What do you think our defense can do to that offense? Because that offense is averaging 34 points a game, best offense in the NFL by a long shot, the most creative offensive coordinator in the league. I know he might be one of those guys that's the benefit of now, but he is having a good year, good 2 years there. That's a tough offense to slow down, man. Can you keep up with them?
I mean, how did Washington beat us in 22? Our offense just wasn't on the field. If you're running the ball and you're controlling the clock, they don't touch the field. They're not going to score 34 points because they're not going to get that many possessions to score 34 points. You know, they have a couple 3-and-outs. The game's already over at that point. We could be up 14, 18, 19 points. I think people are too much into how Jared Goff is playing. I just don't see it, man. Their defense is so bad. They look good against Sam Darnold, man. Darnold.
Be honest with me, all right? Be honest with me. How many Detroit Lions games have you watched this year?
I've watched a lot of them, man.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure, because I think, I had somebody on, I was arguing. He's like, I don't watch much Detroit. I'm like, well, that's why you don't think they're good, man. They move the ball. But look, it's fine. If you believe that you think this defense can get the better of them and keep up, my worry with them is a passing game that will move the ball quicker and put up points faster than a running game. So if you're relying only on Saquon and we don't have like a passing game that can even be in the same ballpark as them, then I would worry that they would run away with it. It'd be 34-20 before we could even blink.
I mean, you think about today, people were just worried because the Packers have always gotten back in those games that they're kind of like hovering around. And that was like everyone's fear with this team. Like, yeah, we could be up by 10 or more points, but they just find a way to win. That's what people were worried about today. But that game, they at no point were we like, man, they're going to lose. This has been the same all season, where it's like, oh, we can't throw the ball, but we can run. Our defense, oh, they're not that good, but oh, they are that good. We're in 90s football. And I mean, it sucks to say that. Jalen Hurts, I wish he was better. I wish we had 22 Hurts. You heard me when he got the concussion. I was like, maybe he woke up in 22, and he's ready to go. But he looks like Patrick Ewing in Space Jam. When they stole his powers, his basketball skills? That's what he looks like.
All right, brother. Your final thoughts here before I let you run, man. I appreciate you joining as always. And the jersey looks amazing on you, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Jersey's awesome.
Nice quality, right? Tell the people. I'm not giving no junk. That's some good quality jersey.
Yeah, dude, this is a sick jersey. These are like the game jerseys.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, really nice. I mean, I think people are kind of expecting something that we haven't been all season. Maybe we have that one unicorn game that, Jalen just balls out. And I don't really consider that Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh was terrible, man. They got blown out last night.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And they didn't look too hot.
Yeah. I think we just got to keep playing the way we play. Keep, doing what we do, and we're going to win next week. I don't care who we play next week. Minnesota, it doesn't matter, or even if we play Tampa, I'm not worried about that either. In Philly, we'll be all right. And then when it comes to the NFC Championship, like everyone thinks it's going to be the Lions, I think the Lions could lose out their first game.
You think the Lions are going to lose to the Vikings or the Rams next week?
They almost lost to the Rams already. They almost lost to the Rams. What was that, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? I'm just saying, man. There's a reason why the
Rams are the one team because they got Stafford and McVay, and they can draw up a good offensive game plan and maybe hang with that team. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Lions are better than you're giving them credit for. I'm not going to lie to you. I think they're better. I think they're better than the Chiefs.
I think their offense is the best in the league. I think their defense, right? They played their mind out, but Sam Darnold was in a primetime game under the lights, thinking he was a New York Jet again. Let's just be honest, man. Like
Sam Darnold. Shout out to Joe Whipp, who told us we should never believe in Sam Darnold. Joe's been saying that since week 6. Yeah. All right, brother. I appreciate you joining me. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you, brother. Good stuff there from Clary Boy. Love it. Yeah, I think Jalenites, you're right, Akbar. We need a Jalenite. Too many people telling me, yeah, I agree. Jalen didn't. Anybody believe that Jalen has no fault today? Anybody want to tell me I'm freaking crazy for saying I don't think Jalen Hurts had a good game and he might not lead us to the Super Bowl this year? Can we get any of those people out there? You guys want to join? I put the link in the chat. Come on, man. Abe, I'm coming to you. Then riding the bench. Then I got Anton and Jay the Legend. All right. Abe, you ready, brother? Here we go. HKP's in here too. I'll get to him. Maybe he's a Jalenite. Yo, HKP, nod your head yes if you're a Jalenite. I can't hear you, bro. You think I can hear you? I can't hear you. All right, let's get to my man Abe. Abe, you there? Let me get to Abe here. Abe, are you out there?
What's up, man?
I got you, brother. I can barely hear you. There he is. There he is. Abe, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What'd you think of the game today? I got a feeling you're not going to be too happy.
Hey, man. Why would I be happy? Obviously, why would I?
You sound like a Philadelphian like me. We win, but you're pissed.
Like the man was reading a Bible on the side of the goddamn bench, hoping that Jalen could get a goddamn whiff of Jesus or something. I don't know. Like AJ was just sitting there reading a book while Kellen Moore was drawing up plays from God that wasn't working. I don't know whose side he was on.
They wasn't working at all.
Yeah.
Hey, did this change how you feel, what you feel this team can accomplish this year?
I don't know what it is. It's like, why can't we just do the basic shit right? Like, why can't we just do the quick passes? Like, why do we always want to be cute and do all these stupid ass shit. Like,
Right.
just do the simple passes. Right down on the check down, 2 yards up. Let Barkley run it up. Let guard get it. Like, all these damn plays that Jalen can't do, like, it's just not making sense.
I agree.
Like, the defense is in sync, but the offense is just never. Like, whatever Pumper said the other day about Jalen Hurts not having rhythm, the offense don't have rhythm.
You're right. You're not wrong. All right, brother. Any final thoughts you want to give on this game before I let you run, brother?
Are we forgetting about how Orenberg got the first fumble, man? And how the referee sided with us?
I know, bro.
Like,
That
they
is so
thought
true. Hey, that was a damn good hit, but you could so clearly see that they recovered that ball, and then we just ripped it out, I guess, in the scrum, which is great. But
hey, it was
right.
that
good call out by you.
That was the referee. That was for the Lions and Cowboys game, and they gave the penalty on the Lions. I think he was trying to get his get back on the Packers or something.
It might have been.
Hey, I liked it. I don't mind.
All right, I like it too. All right, Abe, I appreciate you, brother. I'll talk to you next week, hopefully after another playoff win.
Yes, sir. Go Birds.
All right, go Birds, man. Thank you, brother. There's Abe joining me here. Right on the bench. Coming to you next, brother. Here it is. What's going on, my man? How you feeling?
I'm good, brother. Can I ask you a question before we start? Am I allowed to curse?
You're allowed to say whatever the hell you want.
Then what the fuck are we complaining about, guys? We won a playoff game. We won a playoff game.
There you go. Are you going Jalenite on me?
Brother, we won a fucking playoff game and we're all upset. The Packers are going home. Tonight, Washington or Tampa Bay may go home. We're on to the divisional round. I don't give a fuck that he threw for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did enough to win the fucking game. We can't talk Super Bowl yet. We can't even talk NFC title game yet. We got the divisional round in front of us. What the fuck is filling up? Look, JAKIB Nation, I love you guys. I love every one of you. I love that you guys are critical of this team. Holy fuck. I can't believe I'm sitting here watching Zander be upset that the offensive line did their job, had Jalen Hurts sit in the – he was about to roll out, too, on that Dotson touchdown. He was about to roll out. He was patient, sat back in the pocket, and then threw a pass in the end zone to a guy that
Wait.
No.
Jalen didn't roll out. Why? Why didn't Jalen roll out there?
I'm sick. He was about to. And
why
then he stepped back in the pocket. I don't give a fuck. He didn't roll out.
Because the Lane Johnson was blocking the defensive end. He took one.
He stepped back in the pocket. He went back in the pocket and then threw a touchdown. Are we going to sit here and complain about the fact that the guy threw a touchdown? We're upset that Jalen Hurts threw a touchdown. That's what we're saying. JAKIB Nation, we're upset. Jalen Hurts threw a touchdown pass. Lord, oh my God.
I'm not upset. Wait. All right, let me ask you. All right, fine.
Yeah, go on.
Good. You're right. We won a playoff game. Great. It's all fine and dandy. This team – did Jalen Hurts have a good game today?
He played enough to win. He played well enough to win the game.
Is this offense good enough to go to the Super Bowl?
It's good enough to go to the divisional round. That's all we can control right now. Last year, we saw the Chiefs look like dog shit as an offensive team, and they won the Super Bowl.
Wait. You're not comparing us to the Kansas City Chiefs.
What I'm saying, you're asking me if the offense is good enough to win a Super Bowl. I'm saying this team is good enough to get to the next round of the playoffs right now. We're in the divisional round. You can't talk Super Bowl. You can't talk NFC title game. No other team can talk the conference title game except Kansas City because they have the divisional round on lock. We have the divisional round here. We don't know who we're going to play. Whoever we play, they're coming into Philly. All we can control is win the game. That's all you can control. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if it's a blowout like it was in Buffalo. I don't care if it was a 28-14 win like it was with the Ravens versus Pittsburgh. If Russell Wilson threw for 290 yards, 270 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Better counting numbers than Jalen Hurts. But you know what Jalen Hurts did? He won the fucking game. We're in the playoffs. It's win or go home. Get to the next round. That's all that matters. Who gives a fuck how it looks?
Listen,
you're paying $50 million to win the fucking game. That's the point.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I think, you know.
And also, this is who we've been all year, by the way. It's nothing's different.
No.
We've been this type of offensive team all year. We're a defensive-minded team and we run the ball. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Like I don't know why we're so upset about it. This is who we've been all year. They've told us since the bye week, this is who we are. Just be who you are. It's been good enough to win games all year. And in an NFC like this, where every team is not great, but good. You can beat any team playing this style of ball.
No
Just like
team
any
is
team
great.
on the
Are you
opposite.
crazy? Have you watched Detroit? You think we can keep up with Detroit with this
Do you think
offense?
Detroit's going to drop 34 against this defense? Do you think Philadelphia is not going to be able to move the ball?
My God, they don't even need 34.
Better than Detroit. Am I wrong? Am I on crack? Am I on drugs? Is the Packers defense better than Detroit's defense? Is it?
They probably are, yes.
So what I'm saying is, you're telling me Philadelphia's offense, as anemic as it's been all year, can't do something against that Detroit Lions defense? You tell me it can't do anything? And you're telling me our defense is so good, but yet we won't be able to stop a lick of what Detroit's going to do?
I think you're crazy to think that Detroit's going to get held down like.
No. Listen, all I'm saying, like, how many points does Philly score per game? 26, 25 a game, right? That's about what we average.
I think right there, yeah, 27.
And Detroit averages 34. You're telling me the Philadelphia Eagles defense can't hold the Detroit Lions team to under 30?
I think they can.
Why is that not good enough for the Philadelphia Eagles offense to be able to score?
Listen, I'm not saying you're wrong, but let me say this: if this team fucking gets bounced, no, dude, and we watch a team that has $100 million offensive line, 2 top 10 receivers, a top 5 tight end in the league, and a quarterback making it. If this team gets bounced from your lips to God's ears, you're going to come on this show, and I'm going to grill your ass to the high heavens.
Look, and I'll be just as pissed off as anybody else if we lose to
this
a team
team
like that.
has to accomplish the bigger goal, not a wild card win, not a divisional round win. You're right. Listen, where you're right is we should be happy because winning playoff games is hard. But if you think the expectation for this team is to win a couple of playoff games, you're wrong.
Of course it's not. Of course it's more than the Lombardi Trophy.
Okay?
Of
but you're
course
not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying if this team gets fucking bounced because of Jalen Hurts, I'm going to be giving you an earful.
So do you think Philadelphia is good enough to beat Detroit?
Right now, no.
Okay, so if that were to happen, if we go to Detroit and we lose in Detroit, why is that such an alarming thing to happen?
Because I know the reason why we're not. I know the reason why we're not as good as them.
And which is what? Maybe
Jalen Hurts.
What if we lose in a shootout? If you lose in a shootout, then what's the problem? The last time we saw Jalen Hurts in a shootout in the playoffs game was the Super Bowl. Yeah,
how you lose will always matter. If you lose in a shootout, you tip your cap. Like the Super Bowl. Has anybody ever given shit to Jalen Hurts about that Super Bowl performance? You lost the game. You didn't give shit.
Absolutely.
You knew he did. He left it all on the field. He played amazing football. If you lose in a shootout, it's a different conversation. If you can't get the offense going and you have 132 passing yards and you get blown out 31-14 because your offense couldn't get going, you're damn right I'm going to have an issue. You're damn right.
You know what? I'll say this, man. I don't think against that defense that this offense won't score more than 20. Like, we're going to score more than 21 points against this Detroit defense minimum. Can Detroit score 34 against this defense? I don't think so. I don't think this defense will allow. I don't think Fangio will allow a team like Detroit to do what they always do to everybody. I really don't. I think there's too much pride on that side of the ball. All year, it's been the best unit in football from the beginning of the year to the end, top to bottom on the defensive side of the ball. It has been.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And they've consistently shown it versus elite quarterbacks, not elite quarterback. You're right.
Absolutely. And quite frankly, listen, the style of play that we have, as ugly as it is, it's built to go anywhere because it's so inept on offense, which I agree with you. It's never looked great on offense.
No,
but you know what? It travels everywhere because it can't get worse. You know what I'm saying? I don't care that he's not throwing for 300 yards a game. Who gives a shit? We're on to the divisional round. You got an elite running game. You have an offensive line like this. Control the clock. Don't turn the ball over. Win the game. That's what matters in the playoffs. I don't care how it looks. Every quarterback who wins a playoff game will take this win over any other performance that you'll have. They'll take the win. That's my point. And I think we all need to have perspective in that. And look, you can be critical of the play calling. You be critical of the quarterback. Be critical of the offensive execution. That's fine. But let's not lose sight of the fact that we won a playoff game and we're on to the next round. Because there's going to be plenty of teams who have plenty of quarterbacks that everyone thinks is better than Jalen Hurts who's going home tonight. Who's going to go home this weekend. And we're on to the next round for a shot to go into Detroit potentially. And who knows? Maybe they will be one and done. Who knows? There's plenty of teams in the NFC that can beat Detroit like this.
You can mark. Listen, we can have a round two of this where you coming on and beating my ass next week.
Hold my feet to the fire, brother.
If Detroit gets bounced next week, you can do that. Detroit will not be bounced next week. I guarantee
it. It could happen. Plenty of teams can do it. Everyone in the NFC can beat each other. Everybody in the NFC could beat each other. That's what makes the NFC playoffs so thrilling, actually. But you know what? If Detroit gets bounced, I don't want to hear a fucking word. I don't want to hear a fucking word from anybody.
Wrong, brother.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear a word because that defense is a problem. It's not good in Detroit. It's not great.
If Detroit gets bounced, I'll give you your kudos. All right, so you have it is all sunshine and rainbows over there and Riding the Bench podcast.
It's status quo. It's status fucking quo. What difference? What has changed from the bye week to now?
I swear to God. So help me, Jesus. So help me, Jesus.
The game ugly.
If Jalen Hurts wins a Super Bowl with 130 passing yards with 2 of the top 10 receivers in the league, that will be a first in NFL history.
Won the Super Bowl, that means. That's all that means. That's all I heard.
Well, that I'll be with you. All right, brother. I appreciate it. Any other final thoughts? I thought you were good, man. I appreciate you bringing the energy.
No, I appreciate the love.
I don't disagree. You guys are fun. I think it's fair to rip me. But I was watching the game, and I have Super Bowl expectations, not win a playoff game. And I'm watching that game. I said, this team ain't going to no damn Super Bowl. And that was my thought. And I still stand by that. I still stick to that. I think Jalen Hurts has to be better. He must be better. And I think your scenario you laid out is fair. It's not unreasonable. Our defense has shut down great teams, but we're going to need better offense to go.
That I agree with. There's no doubt that the offense has been anemic. But you know what? Like everyone else in this in the chat in JAKIB Nation has said, you need one great game from Jalen Hurts, and it doesn't even have to be great. He just has to be efficient. That's all you need. Because look, I'm not saying we're going to stop Detroit's offense to a T. But you're telling me you can't hold them to 25 to 26, maybe 27 points? That's more than enough to score on that Detroit defense. It just is with the talent that we have on the offensive side of the ball. It's more than enough. Because the Green Bay Packers defense, like we've said all year, it's a good unit. And listen, yeah, it was ugly. But you know what? We won the game. I'm going to take the win, especially in the playoffs.
You're right. Listen, well done. Good point. And I appreciate you joining, brother. It was great talking with you. I needed somebody to come and
no doubt, brother. That's what I'm here for.
Everything was fucking the same. Thank you, brother.
Everything was rainbows and sunshine before. Now
listen,
all of a sudden, I got to come bring.
If this team gets bounced next week, you better think long and hard before you fucking join my stream. You hear me, brother?
Listen, Zander. I don't run. Listen, I'm too big to fucking run.
You better think long and hard, my guy.
I'm too fat and slow to run from anything. I'll be right here. Right. I ain't going nowhere.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, bro. Take care.
Good stuff, man. I love that. People think I wouldn't have loved that. I needed some of that. I need a little Philly. One Philly guy's going to say, we fucking stink. We're getting bounced. Our team blows. Jalen Hurts stinks. Defense is going to fall apart. That's what one Philly guy will be. And sometimes I can be that Philly guy. The other Philly guy will say, who the fuck cares? We won a playoff game. And I can respect that too. Well done. All right, let's keep rolling. Well done, Riding the Bench. Good stuff, my man. Let's get to Anton coming up next. Uh-oh, I could be getting a double dose of this. You got to be kidding me. Let's get to him now. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, Big Z. How's it going? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. Well, that hasn't been that long. Were you on last week?
Last week, it was I was in the office and there wasn't much talk about that Giants game. It meant nothing.
Oh, right. We had that.
The team was resting
last week. That's right. I forgot about that game. So it's been a couple weeks. All right, well, what'd you think?
As the team was resting, so was Anton,
I feel you. Z-Bone doesn't rest. Big Z doesn't rest. That's
I know, man.
You Aussies, you guys don't work over there. You guys are like in the office. It's like fuddy-duddy. We're drinking Kool-Aid. We work here in America. All right. What'd you think of the game today, brother?
Man. Okay. I think I got to put this take into two different categories. Like, I want to be more balanced. I want to be too much on one side or too much on the other. Firstly, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and cry because we won the fucking game and we're moving on to the next round. So, I mean, for me, that's all it is. But I got to tell you, Zander. For my network, for Hotspot, I've had to take notes for every single one of these games. So that my analysis is like spot on. And while I was taking notes, like literally on every single play, there were things that I definitely noticed in Jalen's performance that maybe I don't necessarily ever really pay attention to, that, yeah, was kind of underwhelming for me today, I have to say. Look, I'll give you a few examples.
I mean, come on, give me
Okay,
some.
I'll give you a few examples. I literally wrote it down. So, well, I think the first part that was great, obviously, was, that he actually, on his first throw returning from concussion, was a dart to Jahan Dotson. I thought that was awesome. But from then on out, so here we go. Eagles defense forces 3 and out. Okay. Then the next possession I go. Questionable choice by Hurts on 3rd down. Set Packers get an important stop. Then
Anton, reading notes is not good entertainment. Synopsis this.
Right.
Come on, brother. You can do
all
better.
Right. All right. Okay. Here it is. When the Green Bay Packers turn the ball over as much as they do, and we won the game 4-0 in the turnover battle, right? We are not capitalizing on that. I'm sitting there because you feel like, I think the energy for me when you watch a playoff game is like, man, if we let this team come back, that's it. Right. We're done.
Every play matters. Every play matters.
Yeah. Everything amplifies. So you feel that nerves throughout the game. And even like we're up like 16-6 and I'm still like a ball of nerves. And for me, we shouldn't have been anywhere near that. It should have been comfort. Like we got the ball back, right? Up 10-0 after Slay got a pick. And I'm like, which you wrote down again in my notes. This is it. If Eagles score here, we're creating some daylight here. 3 and out. And I'm like, the start of the second half, we need to get the ball rolling at the start of the second half. 3 and out. And I'm like, it never seemed to click, the offense. And I was getting really frustrated with the fact that we weren't targeting AJ Brown at all. I thought it was actually kind of funny, the whole book thing. Rather than making it a thing, I actually thought that was just funny, and I think he's a bit of a funny dude. But look, I don't want to take it to one direction where I know Zander.
Don't ride dude. You're right in the middle of the fence, like I've never seen anybody ride a fence. Anton, you have a belief in your mind right now. Take your flag and stick it in the fucking sand. If you're wrong, you come up here like a man and say I was wrong. It's all good. Take your stand, brother.
All right, I'll take my stand. This week was a bad game, but I don't think that it means that the Eagles can't win the Super Bowl. I think the greatest thing about having a game like this in the opening round, actually it's funny because tennis is on right now in Australia, and I think about the great tennis players. They when they play their first rounds, like they're kind of like feeling out the game, and they bring more and more intensity as the rounds go on. So where they kind of save themselves towards the back end. And I feel like it's good because the Eagles can come into this game self-critical, can correct. Because you know what? Every single week that has been crazy this year, where we've the media, we've had big stories like the AJ Brown, Brandon Graham thing. We came out, we whooped the Steelers' ass. Every single time that we've had one of those weeks, the Eagles have responded by cleaning up our criticism and playing a great game. So if that's what is to come in the next game, the talent is there, right? I still believe in this team, the talent. And I also, by the way, it's 2020, Washington, Tampa.
Yeah, that's a tight game.
And that means everything for us right now. But I agree though on the Detroit thing, and I finished Detroit ranked as my number 1 team. I think that I don't want to even go into that with any expectations because I don't know what that game could be. Either we can absolutely shock the world and make Detroit look like something they've never looked like the whole year, which is what we've done to a few teams, like Baltimore as a great example. Or it happens what you say, which is our offensive struggles will come back to bite us. So I think that's kind of what it is. What I would say is that I don't think that we're incapable of winning the Super Bowl, but if we play this way on offense, we're not going far. That's what I'll say. But I'm not counting it out. I'm not saying it's not a Super Bowl team.
You're making a take, but you're still riding the fence. But that's all right. I'll take it. All right. I'll take it. I like it. Good job, brother. All right, man. Any other final thoughts here on this game? Obviously, you are not too pleased with what you saw today, but still have a great belief in the team, which I think is completely fair. You think we stack up with the Lions, the Bucks? I mean, I guess it's 2020. We don't know who we're playing next week now.
I think there are only 2 teams that I would rank ahead of us at the moment, completely. I would say Detroit And I would say Kansas City, and not because of Kansas City's performances this year, just basically because Kansas City are the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
And for some reason, in the back of my mind, no matter how crap they play, somehow they end up with the Lombardi at the end.
Bro,
So,
3 and 5 years. That's why that's in the back of your mind. You're not wrong for having that there.
So outside of that, I think next round, my expectations, if we don't win next week, I'll be pissed. That's all I'll say. But I think that we're going to be better next week. I also think we rested. I'm not to use the excuses, but the 1 week off where we didn't play, I think maybe kind of
get you out of rhythm.
does play a factor. But yeah, look, I'm not gonna go and be like, oh no, this team sucks. There's no way that we're gonna win the Super Bowl. It's over next week. Like, I can't react that way if we've just moved on. Like, we've improved on last season. Like, a year ago, we were all pissed off. We were all depressed. Jason Kelce was retiring. We had no idea what was next for this team. We were like, Nick Sirianni needs to get fired. I hope he gets fired tomorrow. Now we're moving on to the next round 1 year later. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of sometimes have to remember where you came from.
I hear you. That's a good take. All right, brother. I appreciate you joining in, man.
All right, man.
I'll talk. Wait. One more thing. What's the story with the pink mic?
The pink mic. Okay, so this is my girlfriend's mic.
I figured.
So, yeah. So
the people want to know, though. The people are loving the pink mic in the chat.
Oh, look. You know what? A man should always be brave enough to be able to rock some pink. All right.
All right. I'll take it.
But
all right, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, man. There he is.
Okay.
There he is. Hot sport. Our optimistic Aussie. Twiz says that's his boyfriend's mic. Oh, Anton, don't take that. Get in the chat and start clapping back at these people, man. Folks love chirping people that don't clap back. What's going on in this game? 20-20. I got one more guy. Jay the Legend coming to you next, brother. Yo, Killer Delph, when are you joining the show, Killer? I need to hear what the eye saw, Killer. Come on, brother. Come on, man. Let's go to my guy, Jay the Legend. Joining me now on the post-game show. I see it. You got that Philly smirk on right now, Jay. You feeling good?
What's going on, Xander? What's going on? You know, I gotta talk my junk to you.
Let's go.
And I like talking. I talk junk to Big Sills all the time.
I know. Well, what do you got for me, man? We fucking beat the Packers, but our offense looked like shit. What do you got?
Well, you and Xander, y'all look for style points. We slugging now. We getting our Rocky on right now. Shoot, that's yeah. We did what we need to do to
man,
win
if that
game.
wasn't the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. Are you kidding me?
It's the truth.
Man, that offense is not working. What are you talking about?
I'm not worried about none of these teams. I think we could beat all of them, including Detroit. I don't think Detroit can outslug us.
What number? Because Easy says Rocky 2, but I don't know. It's not Rocky 4. We're too good for that. We're not the underdog. Maybe Rocky 3 versus Clubber Lang, something like that. Come on, who do you got? What Rocky do you got?
Wherever Rocky that rises to the occasion, we win. That's wherever Rocky we talking about.
Wait, which Rocky did he lose? He lost to Apollo. Was that one?
Yeah, I think two, maybe two.
Two he lost to Apollo. I forget which one he lost to Apollo. Hopefully it's not that one, because then our Rocky story is going to end, my guy.
Nah, I don't believe it's going to end. I don't think we finished yet. I think we going to. I still think we going to the Super Bowl. I think we could ride to the occasion. This is just a slap game. I knew it was going to be a kind of a slap game going into it, because it was just a cold weather game where we just had to slug it out, and it was going to be limited to possessions. We was able to do what we needed to do. Jalen Hurts made some key throws that he needed to, even though it wasn't pretty. Yeah, but he did what he needed to do. And the defense, they handled business, especially Nolan Smith. He came on strong.
He came on real strong.
He came on real strong.
Yeah, man.
Nolan Smith, how many sacks he had? He had at least 8 sacks.
Two sacks today, and I think that gets him to, well, I guess they don't count playoff stats for the regular season stats, but yeah, I think he's up to double digit. I think, did he have 8 in the season? Was it 8.5? I want to say.
Yeah, I think he had like 8.5.
Yeah, so that's pretty good, man. You're right about him. He is on fire, man. He's tough to stop right now. He's really playing well.
And they was complaining about him being too small, but he looked pretty strong to me.
And he looks well, you know what I like about him is that he leverages his skill set better than most, in that he's small and undersized, but he uses it to his advantage. He gets around the edge. He slides around the tackle. You know, you heard Akbar talking about the movie pull. He's a good player.
Yeah, because he gets right under players. That's what he did. But yeah, we handled it. We did what we needed to do. Saquon, he had another 100-yard game. He probably would have had close to 200, and he would have took off with that run. But yeah, we did what we need to do. Y'all weren't about too much style points. We did what we needed to do. I think this Detroit. I don't think they can handle our defense. I think we can keep on. I think we can hold them under 20. If we gonna go get it, yeah, I think we could hold them under 20.
That's a bold take there, my dude.
Yeah, but I take that take. I stand on it. I stand on it.
Yeah, buddy. I'd rather you do that than ride the fence and say maybe.
Yeah, that dude. I know that dude. He was on some other stuff riding the fence. Shoot, I think you need to give him a wet nap or something. But he was over there. Bear.
He brought the heat on me. I thought it was pretty good though. I don't disagree. So you are obviously still in Eagle optimism land. You feel pretty good about everything, right, Jay?
I felt pretty good about it. Even though Jalen Hurts, he had a sloppy game. Yeah, he wasn't that accurate today. I ain't never say he had the best game, but he did what he needed to do to win the game. That's why I always suspect Jalen Hurts.
Which is basically just
when it's time for him to have a high passing game, he'll do
it. You know what you mean when you say he did what he had to do? What is that? Because it basically just means do nothing at this point. Like
I ain't saying do nothing. He made key throws and he didn't turn over the football. Yeah, he made some plays.
Listen, I'm cool with that. I just want you to acknowledge that is a fence move, a goalpost move by the entirety of Eagles fans everywhere. If all we want from Jalen Hurts is don't turn the ball over and get touchdowns by giving it to your playmaker behind the line of scrimmage, then we've moved the fence. Then we've moved.
No, but Zander, each game is different. Zander, that's what you got right. Each game is different. This game is a sluggish, drag out game where he had to do that. Yeah, it wasn't the type of game where we was going to get a lot of possessions. So it was a cold weather game. We had to run the football, play good defense, and just make some key plays to win the game for this game. Now, next game might be different where we had to get in the shootout or something like that.
No,
every game is different. Each game, you got to do what you need to do. He got to shoot it out where he need to be accurate, and I believe he could do it. But each game is different. And I think Jalen Hurts can always rise to the occasion. I got that type of faith in Jalen Hurts.
All right.
Because it's not like he haven't done it before.
Listen, I appreciate it, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I hope I'm dead ass wrong, and I hope I'm up here on the post-game show next week, and all of you guys are calling me a knucklehead. That would be great. That would be the best case scenario.
I'm definitely calling your boy Seals a knucklehead because I called him a hater all week. Sure he liked my comment on Twitter saying when I called him a hater.
Which one are you? Are you on Twitter?
I said, yo, Zen, I called him a diabolical hater.
Wait. Which one are you on Twitter? Do I have you on my Twitter?
Yeah, it's Jada Legend too.
Oh, okay. I followed you back, right?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
I'll check it out. I'll make sure. I always follow back all of JAKIB Nation. Jada Legend. Jada Legend is chirping at Big Sills.
He liked my comment too.
Where are you? Yeah, you got to follow me tonight. I'll look for you. All right.
No, I'm already following you.
All right.
You
Well,
talking about your personal page?
I'll follow you back. I don't know.
I follow the JAKIB Media.
Yeah. All right. I'll get you. All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming in here. Thanks for being optimistic. Thanks for believing in the team more than me right now.
Yeah, we got to get your level of faith up, Zander.
Yeah, we'll see how it happens, my guy. Thank you, brother.
All right.
Woo! What a show! What a show! You guys are the best. All right. Where's the guy who says we don't have differing opinions? Come on, man. Come on, man. That was a whole lot of different opinions right there. Here's another. Oh, my God. We got M. Reyes who checks in late. He's like, all right, let me just make Zander go a little longer tonight. There he is. Let's bring him up now. The greatness of M. Reyes joining me now on the post-game show. What's up, M. Reyes? How you doing, my guy?
How's it going, Z? Can you hear me?
I got you, man. You look good, sound good. I like the Notre Dame hat. It's a fitting time to wear it. How you feeling after a big Eagle win? I like the Jalen jersey too.
Sorry, let me just do this real quick. Oh, were you a little scared there? Did you do a little pee pee in your diaper there? Did you get a little scared? Poor baby
Scared.
Sil.
I don't get scared, my guy. I fear God and God Himself. That's it, my friend.
It sounded like you feared. It sounded like you fear the Lions. You fear the Packers. You fear the Bucks. You need a lot of dogs.
The Bucks are about to get bounced, so they're done.
Yeah, they are.
They're done.
Yeah. That's a really good game so far. I was watching it right now. Yeah.
Well, I think I just have it on my iPad. Washington just kneeled it out, so they're gonna have a chance for a field goal kick to ice it with no time on the clock. So that should be a good one. But no, I'm not afraid, man. I don't get afraid of football. I just have takes about what the team's gonna do. It doesn't truly bother me one way or the other. But do you feel good about today's win or what? I mean,
you know what, Z? I mean, it's been like this all year. You all might not like it, but this is peak performance. This is winning, all right? I'm sorry you don't like it. I'm sorry this winning doesn't have muscles. I'm sorry this winning isn't 6 feet tall. This winning looks like me. It's 5'6" and fucking chubby. This thing is
you did not just say peak performance, did you?
Oh, you're worried about AJ reading a book. Maybe he wants to catch up on his reading. He's still, you know what? We're toying with the Packers. We are toying with that team. It is such an insult for him to do that. Oh my God, it was so great. And y'all were worried. And it's like Love couldn't get anything going. Their run game was
Jordan Love sucks. That's my biggest. You want to know my biggest takeaway from the game today? Jordan Love stinks on ice. That guy is brutal.
Man, you know, I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say, you know, I'll shit on him all day. Yeah. But I mean, objectively speaking, he's not that bad. I just think, you know, he was seeing ghosts very early. And I think, you know, that's a testament to the defense. The defense was awesome today. It was so fucking cool. And I had a good time.
The Bucks are knocked out, my friend. There's some breaking news for you on the fly.
Awesome. There it is.
So it looks like the Philadelphia Eagles are going to, play
Sam Darnold.
If they beat the Rams, right? They got to beat the Rams tomorrow night, and we play them.
Oh, I don't know the
because
there's
an
extra stipulation on it, right?
6 has been knocked out. 7's been knocked out. No, because if the Rams win, we'd play the Rams. I think if the Vikings win, would we still play? No. Washington's going to play the Lions because they're the 6th seed. Yeah. All right, I got it. All right, we might be playing the Vikes.
Sam Darnold's going to eat some shit.
Turn into a fucking pumpkin.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Whip, I'll be thinking of you. If we play the Vikings, I'm going to be thinking of you, Joe Whip, because I think Darnold's going pumpkin status on us. All right, brother. Great stuff as always. I appreciate you checking in late. I'll talk to you another time. All right, my man?
For sure. Y'all take care. Have a great night. And, hey, enjoy the win. Enjoy this week.
That's an M. Reyes comment. Love it. Thank you, brother. There's M. Reyes joining on the show. There's everybody joining on the show. A lot of great takes from the great people. Riding the bench. Well done. You came up here and said, who cares? We won. No, we can do no wrong. Jalen was perfect. All right. You guys better be right. Yo, Philadelphia, you better be right. Where's Sue? Sue, are these people right? Sue. Joe Whip. See, look, he's already putting his foot in the sand. He says it'll be the Rams. That's because Joe knows that Sam Darnold is about a couple seconds away from actually appearing as a pumpkin, not just turning into a pumpkin. All right? We're close to that. We are close to that. Look at No Limit. Oh, No Limit. He said, yo, Xander, you're sounding like Sills. No Limit. And you're sounding like a crybaby in the chat because somebody doesn't think about football the same way you do. Says Pot. Come on, No Limit. I got a bunch more super chats. Let me rattle them off. I also have to post out a clip here. Let me see if I can fire up and produce that on the fly. All right, a little on-the-fly production with Big Z. All right, where else are you getting that? Where else are you getting that? On-the-fly production with Big Z. What time is it? Oh, it's 11:15. That's late. And the Bucs are knocked out. I view that as a positive thing. All right. I view that as a positive thing. We don't got to deal with them. By the way, give credit to Washington. Where's James Jones? He's probably watching his squad right now, but you got to give credit to James Jones and that team, man, that Commander team. You go from 3 wins last year, all right, and you come in and win 12 ball games this year and a playoff game. Come on, man, that's impressive. All right, tip your cap. Tip your cap when it's due. All right, look at Twiz. Twiz, fuck off, Twiz. I see your little sweatshirt. I'll call the post office right now and rescind that. Do not deliver to Twiz. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. All right. Another 4K passer bites the dust. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. All right. I got to read a couple super chats. Let me make sure everything's set up. Sorry, on my production side. You guys are going to have to work with me here for a second. Make sure I can set up. Boom. Schedule that. All right. How long have we been on the show? 4 hours, 320. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty good show. Thanks to all you guys for making it happen today. As always, I'm getting to them now, Ing. I missed a bunch, dude. I had so many, and we had a lot of shit going on the postgame show. I'm going to get to them now. All right. Prime time. Stephen Joyce, you pay those wide receivers and you don't use them. I agree, but many people will say, who cares? I don't know, prime time. I'm with you. I'm worried it might bite us, but hopefully it doesn't. Brian Pumper, Sean Desai is crashing out on the JAKIB Postgame Show. I assume you're talking about riding the bench. Riding the bench. Do you look like Sean Desai? I don't know. I don't really see it, but I guess I could see it to some extent. I could see it to some extent. That's pretty funny. Caleb checks in, my guy. The reason why wins is a quarterback stat is because no other position does winning matter for legacy or if you get paid or keep your job. They lead for a reason. Yeah, but there's also, Caleb, you're not going to see any people whining about Joe Burrow's record in terms of him as a quarterback. I mean, they'll talk about it probably in the context of his whole career if he doesn't ever win, but you know how good he is as a player. They didn't win much. You know, Sam Darnold won 14 games. What do you think of him? You think he's pumpkin status? I hear you, though. I got you. Mike M became a member. Mike, thank you, brother. Let me find all these super chats, man. I got a lot of them here. I love this guy. Don't go to the parade. Okay, buddy. Let me make sure I let you plan my life. You know what? Actually, West Philly, I'm going to call you next time I got to take a shit, all right? I need you to come and help me wipe my ass, too. Jesus, criminy, dude. Petrosky, I already got that. Let's keep rolling. Big J, I already read that. Wow. Polska, I read that. There we go, Matt. There you are. Sills, the organization isn't going to come out and say our QB1's rusty. I already got that. Let me keep going here. Here we go. BVC, why are you making it seem like they lost 6 guys the first snap? I don't know what you mean by that. That's hardly English. Eagles Talk says, 1-0 in the postseason. Sills elite. Philly Don. All right, I already read that. I ripped you for it, Philly Don. Romeo checks in. AJ is tired of non-offensive dominant wins where the team is carried by the defense. It's Tanner's time. You might be right about what he is pissed about. I think he is definitely a little agitated. I know people think it's funny that he's reading a book, but he certainly is not pumped. I mean, come on. Josh Herman checks in. You can be happy for the win and say the team played like crap and it's not good enough to win the trophy. Winning a bunch of ball games is not the goal. I agree. There you go. That's a good take. Thank you, Josh. I'm right on board with you there. Let me read a couple of these. All right, here we go. Trey Brown, y'all complain too much at times. Enjoy the win. Trey, that's for you to do. All right? That's for you to do. I got a job to do. I got a show to do. I got a game to analyze, and I got to get opinions to give. All right, Trey? I'm not here to kowtow to anybody that wants me to sit up here and glaze the football team all damn day. All right? There's plenty of channels for that you're more than welcome to go on over and click over to. I won't take it personally. I promise. All right. Jacob's not going to be for everybody. Anthony says, Sills, your takes are bipolar. He only threw the ball 21 times. What'd you expect? 400 yards. Furthermore, he had 13 completions to 7 different wide receivers. Anthony, are you going to try and tell me that Jalen Hurts had a good game today? I don't know if you're still in the chat, Anthony, but come on. Eagles talk. Relax. Eagles talk. Are you still in the chat? I saw you talking some shit earlier. Lord Lubu says, I guess the Chiefs aren't a Super Bowl team either because they have a horrible offense and nearly all their wins are by one score. Are we after wins or stats? Lubu. Lord Lubu, you're not comparing us to a team that has 3 Super Bowls in 5 years and is going for a 3-peat, are you? I mean, listen, I love the Philadelphia Eagles too, man. I'm a big fan, all right? I love buying the merch, and I love supporting the team and rooting for them. You're not about to sit here and act like we can be compared in the same breath as the Kansas City Chiefs, are you? Okay, good. Good talk. Let's not go down that road because that's just a dumb road to go down. Team's going for a 3-peat. We're going for our 2nd Super Bowl in the history of the franchise. Come on, man. Come on. Primetime. I like his name, Primetime Stephen Joyce. I mean, it's his name, Stephen Joyce, and he just calls himself Primetime. That is epic. Anthony, Jalen did not have an okay game. He had a shitty game, dude. He had a shitty freaking game. Prime time. Remember, Hurts was drafted to be a backup. Kind of was while he was drafted. T-Bone, 310 or no weeks off. Hurts sucks as a passer. End this story. Where is the Jalen Hurts of 22? MIA, a prisoner in his own mind, badly regressed. I think that's an objective, fair take. I mean, people won't take it in Philly because they never want to criticize him, which is fine. But, you know, I do think it's objective and fair. He's not the same guy he was in 22. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that. None. Zero, zip, zilch. Anybody who tells you otherwise, actually, if anybody tells you otherwise, T, here's what you do. All you say is, well, how did Jalen Hurts play today? And when they say he didn't turn the ball over, that's all you need to know. Because their goalposts went from here, where my Kangos are, all the way to the other side of the Zander Krause show. They're moving it. They're moving it. They don't care. They don't need their quarterback to be elite anymore. There he is. Oh, wait, I missed one. Matt, I'll get you in a second. Crank. I like this. Crank. Good name. Crank Sr. Very worried about the loss of Dean. Didn't look good, and Burks is a liability. Burks. Yeah, Burks wasn't too hot. And I think Nakobe Dean's done. I think Nakobe Dean is done and dusted for the year. I don't know what that means. I don't know what kind of impact that'll have on our defense. I don't know what's going to happen. All right? That's a big loss. That's a big loss. Look at you. Look at Abe. Xander, you need him to smoke a J tonight. Abe, you ain't kidding, brother. Frank Reynolds, I'm an idiot. I buy into this shit. Frank, let's go. We all buy into it, man. We're sports fans. In a way, you know, I can be self-depreciating, all right? In a way, we're all dumb enough to buy into sports, aren't we? Come on, man. We're a fan of a football team that technically has no bearing on my life. It doesn't have any bearing on the bills I pay. Well, it does because I cover the team. But for you guys, it doesn't have any bearing on how my family is. It doesn't have any bearing on my health, my well-being, my nothing. It doesn't matter. But we all buy into it. All right? We all buy into it. I appreciate you, Frank. Look at Carl. Xander wants to control the narrative. We aren't letting him. Carl, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and I'm good with that. Listen, I love the people of JAKIB Nation, and I think even furthermore, I respect the people of JAKIB Nation. Okay, it's one thing to love people because they support you. It's another thing to bring them on, talk to them, and respect them. I respect you guys. You have good opinions. You have good takes on football, and they're valued here. I heard some good stuff. I think there's there's a world where I live in where I can acknowledge where I think Jalen came up short and where the passing game comes up short and where our offense kind of sucks at times. But I can acknowledge where riding the bench says, we win and we won a playoff game and Green Bay's going home. That's good. I'm cool with that. Like, it doesn't bother me to accept that reality. But you're not wrong, Carl. You guys are controlling the narrative tonight. Well done by the chat. Matt Ing checks in. Matt, I'm just going to call you NG, dude. I like it better. All right, Matt, I like it better. Matt NG. Defense is less physical in the run with Oren. Really hope it's nothing serious with Dean. I think the game plan was poor for a rusty Hurts. He sucked, don't get me wrong. You're right, Matt. I agree 100%. I agree 100% that Hurts did play shitty, and I can acknowledge that, but I can also say that the game plan sucked for a quarterback that hasn't been in for 3 weeks, and you're trying to get him going, and you have a star receiver in A.J. Brown that you just for some reason don't want to run a slant with, which I don't understand at all. I can agree with that for sure. And defense is definitely going to be less physical in the run. In fact, Matt, I would surmise to you that whoever we play next week won't be the Commanders. They're 6 seeds, so they're going to play the Lions. The Lions or the Rams, they are going to run probably right at Orenburgs. Let's see. Christopher Darker. These guys would rather him look like Justin Herbert and throw in 4 interceptions as long as he gets 250 yards. What a stupid fucking comment that is. What a actual stupid, brain-dead comment that is. Christopher, do you have a brain in your head that works? I'm seriously asking, because that is one of the stupidest comments I have ever read, and I have done many shows, and I have said many things on the air. One thing I can 100% guarantee that I have never said is that I would rather have somebody throw for 250 and 4 picks than win the game and throw for 1. What a dumb, stupid take by you. If you want to push back and tell me it's all good, we won, fine. But to sit here and say that dumb shit, come on, man. Get out of here with that. Stay focused. Tell me that Tanner couldn't put those numbers up. Oh, he could have. I'm not going to go down that route, though. A-team. Everyone forgets Packers have a really good defense. Hurts hasn't played in 3 weeks. Still no turnovers. He plays like a point guard. Defense A-. Defense A+, man. Defense A+. Illuminati. Goff, Darnold, Baker don't have 70% win percentage. Yeah, well, they don't have the same rosters. Illuminati. Come on, man. Take into the context. Worst behavior. Passing game is unacceptable. I'm ready for a Taysom Hill type arrangement with McKee and Hurts. Scaled back offense is demotivating to the team. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't think that's going to happen or should happen, though. All right. Interesting comment, but that ain't happening. What, do you want Jalen Hurts to be Taysom Hill now? I don't want that. I don't want that. Come on. Anthony Wilson, that defense can beat anybody. I disagree. Well, we'll see. Here's Christopher Darker. Let's hope he has more brains in this one than he did in the other one. The blame isn't all on Hurts. Our wide receivers were awful. Okay. AJ on the sideline reading books. What in the hell is that? Their DBs smothered us. I'm going to keep moving before I rip Darker again. M. Reyes, watch us, Z. I like it. I like it. I think you're saying this to me saying, I don't know if we're a Super Bowl team. Let's do it. James Jones, passing game is trash. James, your team looks good, bro. I don't know if you're in here. Cue the gods. Stats don't matter anymore. W's a W. That I agree with. Playoffs. Jeff Fox, if Sills didn't badmouth Hurts, he wouldn't have anything to talk about. Jeff, Sileo doesn't believe in the quarterback, and he's perfectly entitled to his football opinion. Okay? He's not going to change it because people cry in the chat that they want him to speak differently. I don't need to explain that to you. T-Bone. What a great, ugly win. Wide receivers open 5-10 yards all game long. Hurts didn't see him. He looks deep first, always. Open wide receivers miss. Then the O-line breaks down and he panics. Wide receivers run the route and stop without moving to open space or too crude bet. T-Bone, something when I read that, I'm like, yeah, I saw all that. You know, sometimes I think people don't watch. Do we watch the same game? I guess everybody's got their own lens and they see it through their own lens, which is what makes us all human. Christopher Darker. Bro, the receivers weren't there today. They showed several times they were smothered. Okay, Darker. I know. The whole passing game today is on the receivers. You're right. Mike Berghorst. Hurts is trash. At least small hands can read a defense and throw the ball. Small hands sucks. And don't get me started because I'm not a fan. Jesus, did anything good happen today? No! You deserve misery with me. James, today, comeback of the soft coverage. I'm with Seth Joyner. Shut the hell up. They played against top 5 defense. Hurts had a 111 passer rating, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. Stop your freaking crying. Good. Then go watch Seth Joyner. I don't give a flying fuck. I also worked with Seth Joyner last year and paid him a pretty handsome salary to do shows on my network. And I watched him tell you at 10-1 that the team was going to the Super Bowl. And then I watched him rescind every take he had by the end when we lost in the playoffs. We're all human, Anthony Wilson. You want to go watch him? Go fucking watch. I don't give a shit, Mo. Be my guest. And Neil, I see our offensive line and number 26 is completely healthy. Rest of players are really banged up. 1 week at a time, guys. Chill out. Fair take. Brian Pumper. I'm with AJ. Jalen Hurts is stinky butt. I'll fight for Diva Brown. Man, I got a lot of supers. You guys showed out today. Alex Petrosky. Maybe AJ is creating drama so Jalen can step up like Pittsburgh. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. A-team. Betting is what controls who wins the bowl. If we blow teams out and are the favorites all the time, Vegas makes no money. Eagles learned a lesson from 22. That's a little conspiracy there. I like it. Petrosky. No holes D, baby. Nolan Smith has arrived as an edge. Yes, he has. However, the offense needs to shake off the rust and get in the groove, or we are in trouble. Matt Ing. I hate saying that, Matt. Kellen got back to the quick routes in the second half. I think that helped Jalen. I don't understand him getting away from them in the first place. Did he get back to him? I mean, damn. Look at all these people crying. See, I'm not seeing the new comments because I'm reading all the super chats. I see a lot of you are crying. Look at this cheesecake. Ravi. JAKIB Media is beginning to look like a phony media outlet. Well, Ravi, good. Then go watch something else. I don't give a shit. And your opinion of JAKIB doesn't make JAKIB work or not work. Look at Mac. Get out of your feelings, Zander. Mac, the quarterback stunk. I'm having a hard time believing Mac. Oh, you guys are funny, man. You guys are funny. Oh, my God. You're pandering to Sileo for clicks. I don't pander to Sileo. I pay Sileo. What are you talking about, pander to Sileo? Dumbass. Look at this guy, a guy who's just here. It sounds like a C24 name right there. It sounds like a C24 name. Wouldn't be surprised if that was him. Get a little internet detectives on that. You know, LJ, LJ, I actually love you because I think you're a good troll. You know, some people try and troll and they're just not that good at it. Like you're pretty good at it. All right, I'll give you it. I'll give you it. You're a pretty good troll. Brian Pumper is the best troll though. You don't have me. You're not even close. Zander, you are balding. Low calorie version of Fat Boy. You know what it means when you're balding, LJ? I went to get this figured out. They said your testosterone's too high. I said, oh, so I'm a man. Gotcha. Thank you, brother. I don't care that I'm balding. Doesn't bother me at all. I am not self-conscious about it. I'm good. I just like the hat, though. You can see it's coming out, though. Oh, it's coming, folks. This hair is almost done. It's done. You can't troll me because I don't care. All right? Let me keep rolling on these. I got to finish these. I want to go to bed. 11-2-7 here. Dober says 2017 Falcons game was awful as well as Super Bowl. You are right. They started very slow in those postseason. John Wick says the 17 Eagles struggled against the Falcons. Yeah, we got a lot of these. How about Nolan Smith? Impressive. Brian Pumper, we're blessed to have a great defense. That Jalen Hurts is something else. I told you the guy's a disaster. He didn't look good today, Pump, no doubt. John Wick, suck it, Sills. I like it. Illuminati. Jalen has won over 70% of his starts. True winner. Okay, he's got a great roster. I think I read this. Philly Don. There it is, Philly Don. I got you finally. Carl, you're right. You're right. You are right. Carl, I'm a fan of the quarterback. But people think I'm not a fan of the quarterback. I like the quarterback. I just want him to play better. I just want him to play better. That's all. I think if we play better, we got a better chance at winning the Super Bowl. If he doesn't, I think our chances go down. Very simple. My philosophy and my thought process is very simple. Billy Don, got to pat myself on the back. I called it. Smith, 2 sacks, and Q getting his first in. Well done, brother. Well done. Yo, I got to give it away. Let me get it out. Let me show it all. All right. Who's in here on after hours? Who's in here on after hours? All right. 2 of these things, baby. Quignons, 2 of them. 2 of them. Two of them, baby. I got 2 2-7s. Stitched and ready to be given away to the great people of JAKIB Nation. All right, that's impressive stuff. Quignon showing up in the biggest moment. Dober's Army. Mac Main, don't tell me what to do, Mac Main. Mac Main, you're on my shit list. All right. The only analysis that matters on this run now is if Hurts plays good, just good, not even great. Nobody can touch us. You're right. He doesn't even have to play great. Just can't play like dog shit. Lord's Grace, as I predicted on the show, Hurts would only throw for 130, but y'all told me he would throw for more than that. Yeah, but they did win, so what are you going to do? I already read that one. All right, I'm reaching the end. Gabe, Nakobe's injury is going to hurt us. I agree. No, I read that too. All right. All right, here we go. A couple new ones. Mike M, this was a Joe Frazier type win on his birthday. Never pretty, always gritty. Good take, Mike M. That's a good take there. That's a good take. All right, I got them all. All the supers have been read. Quignon. Oh, look, Carl, you were hating. Now you want the jersey? Carl, you got to be kidding me. Brand new, man. This thing is nice. Stitched up. These are nice jerseys. I promise you, these are some nice-ass jerseys. Oh, LJ, is that correct? 2 p.m. What do you mean 2 p.m.? Oh, are you? I guess you're Canada time. Let me look at what it says at my time. Eastern. Let me look. $3 p.m. Okay. Vikings, Rams. All right, Eagles. 3 p.m. And then, okay, so we're Sunday. I like it. I like Sunday way better than Saturday. We don't want no Saturday games. Come on, save them for the shitty teams. Commanders at Lions is Saturday night, so we're gonna be able to watch that. No limit. I ain't giving you shit. Fucking get out of here. Come on, give me this shit. Y'all got me hot tonight, man. Y'all got me heated up tonight. Man, look at this fucking dude. Mac Man, you tell me to get out of my feelings. I say you're on my shit list and you're typing me soliloquies? Man, get out of your feelings, Mac Man. Shit list. Shit list. All right, I like the Sunday. Shooter McGavin, congrats Eagles fans, but skull, F you, LJ. I like LJ. He's a good troll. Like I said, I like a good troll. Warren says, Zander, if this was a Super Bowl game and the Eagles won, would you feel different, upset, or happy we won? Obviously happy. What a dumb question that is. Warren, come on. I mean, come on. All right, I got them all. All right, good stuff, man. Thank you, man. What a fun show. Mac, you know I love you, brother. I'm just messing. Z, does the Huff contract hurt our chances of re-signing Becton or Bon? Maybe. I doubt it, though. I don't worry about that crap because we got Howie. Howie's a wizard. Howie just makes shit happen with the contracts. He's excellent at it. I saw that, Luis. I saw he posted about the book. Obviously, I'm on the air, so I can't, fully read it, but I did see it. Twiz, good comment. I got a good comment there. Matt says, Zander, appreciate your hard work. Game ended a year ago and your ass is still talking shit with us. That's true. I do love it. Carl says, Zander, tomorrow we are all scouts. Correct. I'll be scouting out who we playing. That's going to be a good game. I like the Vikings in the game, but I can't lie. I can't. How do I believe in Sam Darnold? I just don't, man. Nothing about him entices me. Nothing about him makes me even want to believe in him. Who would you guys rather play? Look at my girl, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, thanks for still watching. That's cool of you. She says, Zander, please start taking biotin. Elizabeth, you can't stop the inevitable. It's done. It's done. I'm 26. I turned 27 in May. I give it to my 28th birthday. So about a year and a half. Gone. Gone. Yeah, I'd rather play the Rams for sure. You know why? Because something about Brian Flores. I like him as a coach, which is what makes me not want to play him. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's got some really good approaches, philosophies. He knows how to mix things up a little bit. He's one of those dudes I really wouldn't want to see. I kind of view him in a Todd Bowles light of maybe a guy that would give a good scheme, would know how to throw him off a little bit, throw Jalen off. I don't know though. They're so limited in the corner. Their secondary in Minnesota that's Minnesota. Duh. I'm getting delusional. Too many 4 hours. Akbar says you can still do the white boy comb over. I'm just going to go the white guy bald route, Akbar. I don't give a shit about no comb over. I hate comb over. I've done that before. I've been there, man. I've been there. Why do you guys think I wear Kango every day now? Wait, can I get some chats about this? All right, we're going to go off football for a second. I still got 370 of you guys in here. All right. I want to get some commentary. You guys like the new setup? This was with my Saturday job yesterday. And I did this I painted the wall, obviously. It was so ugly, the wall before this, man. This is temporary because I ordered a new shelf. I don't like this one, but it's going to be temporary. That's my beautiful cigar humidor, which you can't really see because it's kind of blurry. I did that. I made it like portrait mode, so only I'm not blurry. But I got Jalen on the wall. I got some more stuff to put on there too. And this is the old Zander Krause show. Is you guys have to understand how much that means to me. I've been doing this entrepreneur shit since I was 15 years old. Really before that, but I'm not going to tell you what I was doing at that point. You know. But I've been doing this shit for a while, man. And that was one of my first envisions of kind of being in, not media, but just making content, you know. And that was my first cover. I did like 15 episodes of that. I did interviews with business owners and entrepreneurs and other guys like that were kind of in my in what I wanted to do. And that was the show. There it is. That's the cover. I had that made. That thing is old. I didn't just order that. That thing is old. But pretty good. Yeah, I put the Akbar. That's a credit to you, man. You told me I got to get the mask in there, so I put that on the table. Hopefully, I have a better spot. And then that thing in there, over in the bottom, see that? That's a F1. That's a little F1 car. That's a little F1 car. All right, it's a little F1 car. My little Red Bull racing car. That's the Max. So I went to the Miami Grand Prix a couple years ago. This is the car that he won with. All right, this is the exact paint job from the Miami Grand Prix. It was an epic event. Epic event. All right, I'm getting out of here. All right, I'm getting out of here. Yo, Stu, I ordered it. All right, I ordered it. Stu, I ordered it. So I ordered, and it damn was it expensive. No, I haven't, Twiz. No, but I ordered a big ass JAKIB thing for the middle. Big big neon light. Big neon light. Yes, Forrest, exactly that. Neon sign. Boom. Because that Jalen picture is cool, but it's really a side picture. It's like a long way, so it's really better for like a side, maybe like behind me right there on the wall. I like the color, though, a lot. I think the color is way better. The other color I had was just awful. It's just awful. So bad. I did not choose that color. All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Zander did Hurts his homework in Bama. No, I met Jalen a couple times. I had a couple classes with Tua. Me and Tua were on a first name basis. We had one class. It was an entrepreneurship class. It was like 25 people. And we had it back-to-back semesters. So he's like, hey, you again. It was cool. I liked him. Tua was a good guy. So I've always been biased as a Tua fan because of that. You need a nice big signed McKee poster in the back. Stop that. Thank you, Chuck. All right. I got to go. Unless you give me a super chat to keep me on here, I got to go. Come on, Mac Main. Give me something. Come on, Luis. Come on, Emre. Somebody give me something to get me fired up. I'll keep going. Yeah, Forrest, I ain't doing that. All right. Frank, good stuff. Akbar, thank you, bro. Xander's a gray at heart. No, I'm not, Twiz. I'm the ultimate non-gray. Are you kidding me? In fact, Twiz, bow down. I'm the leader of the non-grays. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are the leaders. Yo, you know what was cool, by the way? You know what was really cool? And for those of you who didn't see this, maybe some of you didn't see it. I met up with Flexen and Steppen yesterday. You guys all know Flexen, obviously, in the chat. I met up with Flex yesterday in the city. We were down on Packer Ave, down by the stadiums. We met. Killer, yeah. I'm like auctioning it off. So I met up with Flex. Check it out. It's so cool meeting him, man. It was so cool. Just because, like, you guys got to understand, man. I come up here. You guys see me every day. So I feel like it's different. Like, I don't see you guys. I don't know you. I don't meet you. I don't learn more about you other than your comments. So when I meet people, like, I love it. Like, when I think of Jason A-Team, I know exactly what he looks like and where he's coming from. When I meet Flex now or see his comments, I know exactly what Flex is like. He's a cool-ass dude, man. Just like you would expect him to be, is Flex. And I think those are the type of people you want to keep around, man. Those are the real people. Those are the real people. So it was fun, man. It was fun. Fun meeting Flex. There's Big Flex. A lot of fun to meet Big Flex. But all right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in today on the JAKIB Postgame Show. Please hit that like button on your way out. Big win for the Birds. Big win for the Birds. All right, we're moving on. We're moving on, and we don't got to play the Bucks. Good scenario. Yo, Big C, it wasn't knitted, my guy. Wasn't knitted. All right, I think I was wearing that. I was wearing that one third down up there. See it? Third one up. Yeah, that was the one I was wearing with Flex. Who's this dude? This is another C24. Did you guys know JAKIB stands for Alexander and his 4 siblings? Shut up, dude. Shut up, dude. You want me to take you serious? Make a better name. I'm out. I'm officially out. I know it's hard for me sometimes to end these shows. I just start rambling. Akbar. No, we met at Chickies, bro. They're Chickies and Pete's. I wasn't at the crib. I will say, Mac Main's still chirping. Mac, shut your ass up. Go get some rest, man. You need it. Akbar, we met at the Chickies and Pete's down by the city, bro. And you know what I did after that? I met with Flex. I gave him his jersey and his hat, the white hat that everybody loved. I loved, really. And then I went to I was going to see my dad and my brother that day after I met with Flex. So I went to my dad's a Pats guy. All right. Pats and Geno's. He doesn't like Geno's. He likes Pats. I'm a Jim's guy on South Street, or I like Steve's Prince of Steaks. My dad's a big Pats guy. So I went to Pats. Had to deal with the parking in Philly, obviously, in my big-ass truck, my big-ass pickup truck. And then I got 4 fat-ass cheesesteaks, and I ate good. I ate damn good, baby. That cheesesteak was damn good. I ain't gonna lie to you. Extra cheese, whiz with. Come on, give me that. Give me that, baby. Look at Mac. He says, when are you going to do a Kango hat? Mac, I'm going to do one soon, and you ain't going to be the winner. I can promise you that. Nah, I'm just playing with you, Mac. I love you, man. You know I appreciate your support. Now, I probably won't do one, Mac. I don't know. People don't want my dirty-ass hats. Plus, I like them. You know, maybe I'll order like a fresh one, like a fresh Kelly Green one, like this. Sign it. Give it. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Wiz is trash. Listen, yeah, I painted the walls. Ryan, what do you think? I get contractors in here to paint these walls? Come on, Ryan. I'm a little blue collar at heart, Brian. Put on the frickin' Timbs yesterday. Got my paint. Got everything going. Cleared this bitch out. Spackled up some shit. Boom. Boom. Pat's is not dirt. Stop. It was not dirt. I've eaten every cheesesteak. Dude, literally every cheesesteak. When I was in high school, me and my buddy in high school did a full cheesesteak tour. And we did like one cheesesteak a week. I thought I was gonna turn into a cheesesteak. Oh, yeah, I did it yesterday. Yeah, I did it yesterday, Ryan. Literally yesterday, I painted it. I got you. Hey, there's A-Team. Oh, Gino stinks. Jason, you got to get Pats, brother. I'm telling you, this right here is a C24. Another C24. All right, I need to go. I need to go. I love you all, man. See you next time, everybody. Hit that like button.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES. Eagles.